I was 7, I wore these gloves. They held this stick. Well, these skates carried me over the blue line. We won the championship, and now it's all yours. Cool. Oh, and this mouth guard. I'll get my own. Thanks.
The 5th season is when spirit for the game gets passed down. That's why we're proud to support over 5,000 teams.
Énergie. 100% passion. 100% effort. Pourtant, les femmes n'ont que 5% de visibilité. Les producteurs laitiers canadiens croient que les athlètes féminines devraient être vues et entendues haut et fort. Avec Nourrir la passion du sport féminin, nous célébrons les athlètes féminines de tous les niveaux. Joignez-nous à Vive le sport féminin.
Toronto and Montreal, two forever hockey rivals. Despite the city's ferocious on-ice rivalry, their two professional men's hockey teams have stepped up to the proverbial plate this year to help their entries in the Canadian Women's Hockey League. The Furies have a brand new uniform which harken back to the days of the Toronto Maple Leafs glory years with a 37-point Maple Leaf. And in Montreal, the formerly known Stars have become Les Canadiennes de Montréal to create a better link between the two organizations. On the ice, while the Montrealers have gotten off to a 5-1 against these Canadiennes, but Marie-Philippe Poulin is on fire, including against Calgary in the Canadiennes' last game.
In the last game, Marie-Philippe Poulin had her first hat trick of the season, scoring 3 goals. They were all of them beauties. You can find them for sure on Twitter if you want to look up those GIFs. They're gorgeous ones. But yeah, as we mentioned earlier, she's only played 4 games this year because she missed a few games because of the Four Nations Cup, but still leads the league with 11 points. 11 points in just 4 games. She's just such a joy to watch, and wow, what an asset she is to this Montreal team. And she just looks like she's on fire when she's playing with Caroline Ouellette and Ann-Sophie Bété on that first line.
And somebody who's on the second line who's still producing at almost a point per game basis is Noémie Marin, who last year was on the top line, has been moved down to the second line this year. And that's no statement about her ability either.
No, that's just a statement about the depth on this Montreal team. That top 6 is absolutely lethal. And it's not even just their top 6. Their defense this year has been outstanding, and they're able to contribute offensively. Julie Chu is probably the best all-around defenseman in the CWHL right now.
And Julie has only played 4 games for the Canadiennes because of her coaching duties with the Concordia University Stingers that has had her miss a pair of games, and she will be missing tomorrow's game. So Montreal needs to get off to a good start this weekend. They want to do it beginning tonight against the Toronto Furies, and we will have it coming up in just a few moments' time. Let's take a look at the starting lineups who are being introduced right now on the ice behind us here at the Centre Étienne Desmarteaux. And when we take a look at the starting lineups coming out right now, to center ice, one of the big players, as we mentioned, was Natalie Spooner for Toronto, is going to be out there leading her team, but getting the call between the pipes tonight is Christina Kessler, who, despite having a worse win-loss record than she did this time a year ago, she has improved in both the goals against average and her save percentage.
Yeah, her save percentage is .923, which means she's no slouch in the CWHL right now. She's got a .285 goals against average, a 1-5-1 record on the season, and that one win was a shutout. So when she can play at the top of her game, there's no getting one past her.
Charlene Labonte will get the call between the pipes tonight, coming off her 5th career CWHL shutout in her last game, a 5-0 win at Calgary on November 15th. One of the things that's been really interesting is how few games the Canadiennes have played to start this season. They have played the fewest games in the CWHL with 6.
Yeah, and they're going to have the weekend off next weekend as well. And then, of course, everybody gets some time off for the winter break. But yeah, the Canadiennes have had some time off, which is interesting. It's a little bit of a light schedule, which hopefully is, not the only reason that they're playing so well, that they've got all this rest. But they have had a road trip already. They went out west to Calgary, and they split that series against another undefeated team. Both teams were undefeated going into those contests, and they split that series.
And that was a 5-4 win by Calgary back on the 14th. So we're glad that you're along with us here this evening from the Centre Étienne Desmarteaux. We have some special proceedings on the ice before tonight's game, and we're going to get to them, including the ceremonial face-off for tonight's game. And this evening, performing the ceremonial face-off will be Linda Barry, who is an author, and she will be Robin's guest in the first intermission of tonight's game. She wrote the book Les Glorieuses, which is a phenomenal history of female hockey here in Quebec.
It's really interesting to just read the book. I was flipping through it once again just before we went on the air here, John, and I love seeing the old pictures of the girls playing hockey in full-length skirts and petticoats, and I can barely walk when I'm wearing a skirt, and these girls are playing hockey. It's really something to see how that women's game has grown to what it is now.
So if you're looking for that book, you can pick it up here in Quebec at any local bookstore and online through La Presse Publications, as Cathy Chartrand comes out to take the ceremonial face-off against Michelle Bonello, who is the captain for Toronto. And Linda's had a lot of media coverage the last couple of years with this book, and it's fantastic that it's gotten a second wind here in the last couple of months here in Montreal. And now we're going to pause for the playing of the national anthem. And the anthem will be sung by 12-year-old Alyssa Donnet, who will be performing the anthem this evening. Alyssa Donnet with the singing of our national anthem. It's time now to meet the starting goaltenders in today's game. And we will begin with the visiting Toronto Furies. Getting the call between the pipes is Christina Kessler. This season, Kessler is 1-5-1 with a 2.85 goals against average and a .923 save percentage. At the other end of the rink, it will be Charlene Labonte getting the start. She is 4-1 on the campaign, a 160 GAA and a .927 save percentage. The third team on the ice will be led by the two referees, Mélanie Bordelot and Stephanie Campbell. On the lines, it will be Laurie Longpré and Danielle McGurry. So those are the three teams out there for tonight's game as the Canadiennes de Montréal take on the Toronto Furies here from the Centre Étienne Desmarteaux in Montreal. Robin, what do you expect from tonight's game?
Well, I saw the Toronto Furies girls just before the game started. We're out there doing that usual warm-up, kicking around a soccer ball. They seem to be in good spirits. They were making jokes, so they're definitely amped up and ready for this game. I think that Montreal, though, is going to bring their best. It's really tough when you have someone like Marie-Philip Poulin in the lineup. I think Toronto just has to find a way to shut down that first line, and then they'll be able to play a very evenly matched hockey game.
So, talking about the starting lineups, let's take a look at who is out there right now for Toronto. On the blue line, it will be Michelle Bonello, as well as, well, let's just give all five that's out there. We have Bonello, we have Natalie Spooner, who will be up front with Alyssa Baldwin and Terry Kelly, and Sina Suzuki will get the start on the blue line for Toronto. For the Canadiens, it's Laurent Rougeau, Julie Chu on the blue line, Caroline Ouellette flanking on the left side, and Sophie Bété on the right, and Marie-Philip Poulin, who takes the opening face-off, is out there for the Canadiens. We are underway. Glad you're along with us here on CWHL Live. Julie Chu will pick the puck up in her own zone, come around the net to the near wing, and will backhand the puck up the middle. Bété tries to hit Poulin, but the puck hits a skate and bounces over to the right side. Spooner tries to spring Terry free, but the Canadiens have it, as Ouellette will get it just over the blue line. Terry sidesteps the check of Rougeau, who separates her from the puck, and Julie Chu has it, reversing the puck over to the near side to Marie-Philip Poulin. Poulin behind the net, Rougeau with it, settles the disc down, and now we'll look up ice. Spooner standing out in front of the net of Charlene Labonte, and that forces the Canadiens to come out the left side. Here is Poulin. Poulin into the offensive zone, left wing side, towards the goal. Wrist shot! And a blocker stopped by Kessler. I'm not sure that she was expecting the puck to come in, as she barely moved that right blocking arm of hers. Here is Ouellette. She'll bank it back into the right wing corner as the puck goes behind the net. The Canadiens go for a line change as we've played 1 minute of the opening 20. Chartrand wrist shot through as it was tipped in front of the goal by Clément Edra. Chartrand right point to Carly Hill. She goes down low for Clément Edra, who powers the puck over to the near side. She takes it into the rings, overskates the puck, but leaves it there for Noémie Marin. Marin into the slot, tries to go to the backhand, but Prévost knocks the disc away from her as Carly Hill pinches in from the right point. Behind the net, it goes to Kim Deschênes. Kim Deschênes, who has been on fire, has 4 goals already this season after finishing last year with just 8. Prévost knocked off the puck by Cathy Chartrand, and Marin has it in her own zone. Ahead to Clément Edra, as she will skate it out to center on the right wing side. The Canadiens go for a line change, and she will backhand it into the corner, waiting for her teammates to arrive. Leslie Olds in the offensive zone giving attack, but Chevry will clear it out to center to Kelly Terry, and she will fire the puck deep into Montreal territory. MR turns it over as Terry was there, but she couldn't get it out in front of the net to Chevry as her centering attempt hit the side of the goal. Vela pinching comes in. It comes back to Gaskin at the point. Her wrist shot goes well wide of the cage. And Blais will chip it off of the boards out to center. Leslie Olds gives chase, but Vela will get there, sealing her off on the right wing side in the defensive zone for Toronto. And she will leave the puck behind the net. On the far side, Ashton Hogan with it. She'll rim it around to the near boards. Terry has to come back, play it backwards towards the goal line. Blais intercepted momentarily, and here's Ouellette with a steal. Wrist shot, glove stopped there by Kessler. The rebound lays loose in the slot. It's gathered in by Ashton Hogan, and she will skate it to the blue line. Julie Chu keeps it in. Poulin, centering pass. Rougeau in from the right point. Can't get the shot away as Michelle Saunders is battling her on the far side. Now coming up with it, that is Poulin. Down to the corner for Ouellette. Back to Julie Chu. She goes to her knees to keep the puck in. Plays it left side for Rougeau. Down low, Bété. Bété into the slot, but it's knocked away there by the Toronto defender, Gaskin. Montreal in control here early in the offensive zone. Here's Poulin driving towards the goal. Pass off to the left side. True backhand shot. Blocker saved by Kessler. Vela with it for Toronto in her own zone. Ahead for Terry on the wall. She gives it back to Vela, and she will skate it out to center on a 2-on-2. And now we'll send the puck deep into Montreal territory as the Furies go for a line change.
What a chance you just saw with Marie-Philip Poulin right in front, getting that puck up to Julie Chu, who was at the bottom of the circle, had a beautiful opportunity. That's probably the best scoring chance we've seen of the first period thus far.
A centering attempt for Stevenson is picked off there, and lugging it out to center is Katia Clément Edra, and she will go wide in the left wing corner. Tries to center, goes off the skate of Bonello over to the near boards, clear to the blue line, kept in by Chartrand, and she'll play it back in deep. Suzuki in her own zone, left corner to the half boards. can't advance it much further, but Sarah Stevenson does, as she will send it down the ice. No icing on the play, as Cathy Chartrand is back to play it for the Canadiens. Up the right side, Noémie Marin with it into the offensive zone. Wrist shot, blocking it there with Suzuki. She plays it over to the far boards. Karuta can't get it out. Here's Deschamps with a wrist shot, a rising wrister into the right shoulder of Kessler, and she makes another key stop here early in the hockey game. Marin battling all on the near side. Where the puck, it comes free. Chartrand with a wrist shot. Nobody saw that one until it hit the glass behind Kessler, and Toronto will clear it out to center ice. Carly Hill backpedaling towards her own blue line with the puck. Gives it to Blais, streaking through the neutral zone, cutting across the grain to the near wing. Blais to Paroff, the former Clarkson Cup champion with the Toronto Furies 2 years ago before heading to Italy last year and returning to Montreal this season. Is out there now for the Canadiennes. On the right side, Leslie Olds, bank pass off the boards. Paroff can't get to it, and Toronto will tip it in deep as Labonte comes out of her net to play it, leaving it there for Chelsea Saunders. Up the near side, the puck will get to the blue line and out as Olds tipped it to neutral ice. Shannon Molson tries to go to Chevry. The pass is picked off. Here's Olds back the other way. Olds, wrist shot, glove stopped by Kessler, and she will hold on for the whistle with 14:35 to go in the first period.
Leslie Olds with a nice chance right there. Christina Kessler stopping the puck. I was speaking to Leslie Olds a few weeks ago, and she was the all-time penalty minute leader at McGill. She's not leading this season for the Canadiens. That's a privilege shared by Carolyn Ouellette and Carol Aymar. But I asked her, what's on your iPod these days? And when she said Justin Bieber, I wasn't going to make fun of her because, I mean, she is the all-time leading penalty minute leader at McGill University.
She is definitely a tough player out there as Spooner is coming in on the left wing side. Centering pass was behind Terry. That's a good job there by Chu to come back to seal her off. And Montreal's back on the counterattack. Marie-Philippe Poulin with Rougeau going towards the goal. Poulin into the corner, takes two players into the corner, and that includes Spooner. But Toronto is able to get to the blue line and out to center. Rougeau with a pass back to her own blue line for Chu. She spins away from Baldwin and gives it to Poulin. Poulin into the offensive zone. Stick check there just inside the blue line by Jess Vella. And she will bank it off the boards and gain the Canadienne blue line. Behind the net she goes. Tries to sidestep Chartrand. She does. Plays it back to the blue line. But Saunders was coming onto the ice from a line change. And unfortunately, an offside for Toronto.
Jess Vella's had a lot of excellent work already in the neutral zone thus far. Her stick checks, that's the second that I've noticed in this game where she's managed to get the puck off of the opposing Canadienne player, and she's definitely going to be someone that you're going to want to watch out for. And she's not necessarily the girl that you would expect to be the biggest offensive threat on the Toronto Furies, but of course, she's definitely somebody you want to keep your eye on, and she does have 2 goals already this season.
Play back underway. Alyssa Sherrard is sealed off there by Prévost. Vella has it. She plays it towards the Montreal blue line. Carly Hill settles it down, comes over to Chartrand. Lead pass to La Chance, left side, Sherrard. Sherrard going to goal, centering pass. Just out of the reach of Emily Bacchia, her former Concordia teammate. Here's Bacchia with the steal just inside the blue line. Goes to the right side for Sherrard, but she was taken off of the play. The puck is knocked down at center ice by a high stick, but Toronto comes up with it. Fulton towards the goal, backhand shot. Stopped by Levante, rebound. And it is cleared over to the near side. Long shot by Hill, knocked away by Chartrand. And Carly Hill has it for Montreal. To the blue line, it is kept in at the left point by Molson. And now the puck comes towards the goal, and Levante wisely holds on for a stoppage in play.
Now, just as Levante freezes that puck there, my next thing that I was going to say was, wow, they're really letting a lot of rebounds go in this game. And then she goes and stops it, which is great because, I mean, that chance that Toronto had where she gave up that rebound, if it weren't for Carly Hill sort of bailing that puck out and getting it off the doorstep, that could have been another scoring opportunity for the Furies.
Aymar, who is one of the leading point getters on the blue line this season in the CWHL, has it behind her own goal line, lugging the puck up on the right wing side. Bank pass off the boards. Ahead for Marin. Marin into the slot, wrist shot, and a blocker stop by Kessler as she knocks the puck out of play. A rising wrister that was earmarked for the top shelf.
That was some fancy stick work that we just saw from Noémie Marin going sort of side to side, and it kind of reminds me maybe a little bit of that Mario Lemieux moment against, was it the Hartford Whalers?
No, the Minnesota North
Stars
in Game 1 of the 1991 Stanley Cup Championship Series.
Similar stick work we just saw from Noémie Marin.
I can't remember who he undressed on the blue line going towards the goal.
I'm sure he remembers it well.
So off the draw, the puck is controlled and up the near side. Terry on the right wing for Toronto, gains the blue line, centering pass as it was knocked away from Natalie Spooner, and the puck comes all the way out to center. Suzuki at her own blue line, settling the puck down, turns it over as Willette is on the forecheck, no offside. The Canadiens thought that it might have been offside, and that's why they peeled back instead of continuing their pressure against the Toronto squad. Here's Caroline Willette again. Pass to the right side, Bette. Wrist shot! And a blocker save by the netminder Kessler, and she held the puck underneath her the shoulder pad and just didn't move because she knew the puck had hit her but didn't see the puck in front of her.
This is a move that you'll see from some of the best goaltenders is when you know you've made a save and it hasn't crossed the goal line, you freeze if you aren't 100% certain of where that puck is because you don't want to let up and then accidentally have it trickle through your legs and roll past the goal line.
Toronto with it. Here's Caroline Prévost into the offensive zone. Into the corner she goes on the far side. Hill with it for the Canadiennes, and she will play it over to the near side. Kim Deschênes off of the boards, ahead at center. Here's Marin. Marin has Carly Hill streaking towards the goal. Marin, wrist shot, and it going low and blocking it was Saunders. That's Michelle Saunders for Toronto, and the puck is deflected over the glass and out of play.
That line with Katia Clément-Hydra and Noémie Marin is getting really great sustained zone pressure. Whenever they're on the ice, they always manage to get it into the offensive zone, and that's really impressive to see from that second line. As we mentioned before the game even started, there's somebody that you don't want to ignore. You don't want to focus all of your energy on Caroline Willette, Ann-Sophie Bette, and Marie-Philippe Poulin.
Molson has control of the puck, plays to the Hill, and she will chip it out to center. Chelsea Saunders for Montreal plays it back into the offensive zone, where it's knocked down by Molson. Over to Vella on the near side. She curls and goes straight up the middle of the rink. On the left wing side, the pass just out of the reach of Ashton Hogan. Vella on the follow-up has it, takes towards the goal, takes a shot. It hits Saunders in the backside, and the puck pinballs over to the far corner. Here's Aymar up the far side, out to center. That was Oles, cross ice, left wing side for Emmanuel Blais, and she will play it in deep. Shannon Molson with it for Toronto, up the far side. The pass for Hogan was tipped off her stick, but Molson on the follow-up will skate it out to center, bank it all the way down the ice, not far enough for an icing, and that allows Toronto to go for a line change. 10:40 to go in the first period. No score in the hockey game between Toronto and Montreal on a beautiful Saturday evening here in Montreal. Of course, it could be a snowstorm outside, and it wouldn't make a hill of beans of a difference in our enjoyment of this game. But anyways, it was a lovely day here in Montreal today. Bonello at center, battling with Bette. Bette comes up with it, gives it to Willette, who drops it to Bette. Bette, left wing side, into the offensive zone, takes the shot, and Kessler goes down to the butterfly and makes the save, holding on with 10 and 12 to go in period number 1.
Have to wonder if Kessler and Labonte heard my little snide comment there about them not freezing the puck, because since then we've seen almost every single shot be frozen up on the ice, not really giving up any rebounds at this point. It's becoming a goalie duel.
Which is not surprising, as we mentioned off the top of the broadcast tonight, that Kessler last year had a .341 goals against average and a .900 save percentage. This year she's at .285 and .923, despite the fact that her team is 1-6-1. So it's more the lack of goal production that has hurt Toronto this season.
Well, it doesn't hurt that she had a shutout in Toronto's victory, so that definitely is going to improve your goalie stats.
Kim Deschênes up the near side. Kick save by Kessler to the far corner. Bette on the follow-up has it. She's locked up there by Gaskin. Willette with the puck. Willette plays it back to the blue line to Laurent Rougeau. Rougeau skates the line. Dishes right side. Chu left to the right hash marks. Gives it to Willette. Back to Chu. Left side. Takes a slap shot well wide of the target. And the puck hits the end boards and rolls all the way out to center. Willette, as Toronto goes for a line change. Ahead for Rougeau on the left side. But les Canadiens were offside.
Well, there's no harm in following through, even if you're not sure if it's going to be offside, because then you saw like the last time where the Canadiens thought that they were offside and sort of backed off, and there wasn't going to be an offside call. Perhaps you're robbing yourself of an opportunity. So you want to just keep following through, play to the whistle. It's important to remember.
So we'll face off in neutral ice. Alyssa Sherrard takes the draw for les Canadiens, and she will take the draw against Vella as Bonello has it in her own zone to Chevery. Chevery up the middle, stolen there by Lachance. Lachance to the far side. Vella has it. Vella bringing it into the offensive zone, takes a wrist shot that weakly rolls in on Labonte, and she is able to freeze the puck.
It's good to see that they're freezing the puck, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, but I'd be interested to see who's going to score the first goal in this hockey game. You willing to put any money on this one, John?
I'm not a betting man.
Were you a betting man, do you think?
No, I would. Some good opportunities here early in the hockey game. You're right. That's not a crazy off the board, out of left field suggestion.
Although those can be fun.
Yeah, yes, they can. Now, like me saying Bocchia
Yes.
right now as she skates the puck into the offensive zone, plays it in deep. Alyssa Sherrard gives chase. Back to play it for Toronto. That is Corey Chevery up the boards. Imar towards the front of the goal. And here's Bocchia in front as Alyssa Sherrard doesn't have a stick. She's skating for her stick, but Chevery cleared it towards neutral ice, and now Sherrard will go to the Canadiennes bench. Bocchia with a steal in the right wing corner. Bocchia overskates the puck. Hogan up with it for Toronto. Along the far boards, she's stick checked there, and now Michelle Bonello with it for the Furies. She'll bring it out to center. Cross ice pass intercepted by Leslie Oles, and Leslie Oles is knocked down, and that will draw the first power play of the hockey game as Corey Chevery got the stick out and trips up the Canadien forward.
The Canadienne power play is looking really good this season. They're first in the CWHL. They've gone 7 for 31 for 22% in the league. And if they score here, they're 5-0 when they score the first goal. So it'll be difficult for Toronto to get out of that hole.
Now we take a look at power play goals. Ann-Sophie Bette and Caroline Ouellette lead the team each with a pair of power play markers. Poulin, Ouellette, and Ann-Sophie Bette are out there. Julie Chu and Rougeau on the blue line. We'll set up Toronto's PK for you in just a moment. Rougeau dishes off to the right side to Poulin. Down low to Bette. Chu is open at the left point. Wide open as Poulin goes towards the goal. Stick check there by Spooner, and Spooner has it for Toronto. She will skate it out to center on a solo player rush. Slams the brakes on just over the red line and backhands it deep into Montreal territory. Spooner will step off of the ice. Up there right now is Alyssa Baldwin, as well as Sina Suzuki, Prevost, and Bonello on the PK for Toronto. Here is Poulin into the offensive zone, left wing side. A minute 25 to go in the advantage. Rougeau gives it to Chu, top of the umbrella. She'll now skate it over to the right side, get a shooting lane, takes a shot, and they hit the skate of Bonello in front and pinballs over to the near side. Well up behind the net, plays it around the far boards, pinching in Chu. Chu gets to the puck, but it's clear to the blue line, knocked down by Poulin. Poulin tried to take it towards the goal. She'll peel off, dish off to Bette at the right point as Chu goes to the front of the goal. Here's a slap shot by Poulin, hits a leg in front, and it is cleared down the ice by Prevost. And the Canadiens will go for a partial line change here as Chu is offside. Bette kissed it in the neutral zone for Julie Chu, but she was trapped in deep, so the faceoff will come back deep in Canadien territory.
I would not want to find myself in front of a Julie Chu slap shot. She's got a hard shot. You could even hear everybody in the crowd as you see everybody raising up their big Go Canadien Go signs. You could hear a big gasp from them as that shot was blocked down in front.
And that's the group from Centennial Secondary School here in Montreal. A lot of groups in the house tonight, and we will be mentioning them as the game goes on. Here's Shannon Molson. She'll lift it out to center. Imar with it. 45 seconds to go on the power play for the Canadiens. Deschênes dishes it off to Oles. Right side, Marin overskates the puck. And coming back to play it is Terry for Toronto. She'll skate it back out in front of her own net. Lost a handle on the puck, and Imar will play it back in deep. Deschênes to Marin at the right hash marks. 20 seconds to go in the power play. Marin checking out the scenery. Now we'll go back to the blue line. Imar to Chartrand. Down to the right side in the corner for Marin. 10 seconds to go in the power play. Here's Chartrand. Slap shot through traffic. It hit Deschênes in front and pinballs out the back door. Puck comes over to the near point, and Vela has it. Vela through neutral ice on the right side as Toronto's back to full strength. They've killed off the first penalty of the hockey game. Puck in the slot. Deschênes overskates it. Here's a chance for Toronto, but spinning with Chevery, and she plays it out to center ice. Oles knocked down just inside her own blue line. Crowd with a collective O on that. As Cathy Chartrand now starts the rush up for Les Canadiens. The pass over to the right side for Peroff. She had her pocket picked there, but Chartrand comes over and took out Ashton Hogan. And here comes the Canadiens in over the offensive blue line. as Blais tries to go to Clément Aydra. Pair off behind the net with it now for the Montréalais. Back to the right point. Hill to the left point for Saunders, and the linesperson says that the puck just eked out over the blue line.
Yeah, I was shaking my head there when it didn't look like they were going to blow that whistle, because that looked offside from where I'm standing. Some really great sustained zone pressure from the Canadiennes on that power play. They weren't able to score, but that's got to be a huge momentum shift for the Toronto Furies, whose penalty kill wasn't necessarily the strongest in the league. They're now 35 for 41, still good enough for 5th in the CWHL.
Puck deep in Toronto territory. Here's Bette at the left wing faceoff circle. Tries to elude the check of Spooner. She can't, and Terry has it at center. She tries to center it across for Baldwin in the offensive zone, and the puck rolls in on Labonte, and she will hold on. 4:26 to go in period number 1.
I saw Charlene Labonte after the last home game. She was hanging out with some of the fans. And one thing that's really great about the CWHL is that if you're a fan and you want to meet some of these girls after the game, they're always there willing to sign autographs, take pictures with you. And Labonte is somebody that is always great, especially with the younger girls who really look up to someone like a Charlene Labonte, who's had so much success, not just in the CWHL, but at the international level as well.
Julie Chu drops it back to Poulin. Kiss pass right side, Bette. Bette forced over to the near side, and she will play the puck behind the net for Caroline Ouellette. Ouellette, centering pass. Chu had her stick lifted there by Chevry. As Ouellette has it in the slot, wrist shot goes off of the stick of Prévost into the near corner. Bette reverses it down low. Poulin with it. Poulin tries to fight off the check of Fulton. She does. Back to Bette to the line to Rougeau, but it's picked off there. As skating out to center is Prévost. Prévost, nice pass to Chevry. Chevry in. Wrist shot kick stopped there by Labonte. Puck goes to the far side. Rougeau has it for the Canadiens. She'll leave it there for Bette. Bette ahead to Ouellette at center. She is going to gain the red line and backhand it down the ice as the Canadiens go for a line change. 3:33 to go in period number 1. No score in the hockey game. Here is Lachance playing it back to Carly Hill over to the left side for Cathy Chartrand. Lead pass up the right wing side for Sarah Lachance into the offensive zone. Her pass into the skates of Sherrard. She was able to control it momentarily, but Hogan steals it. And now the puck is jumping around in the slot, and Toronto will clear it out to center. Bella with a wrist shot all the way in on Labonte, and she will put her big mitt on it and hold on with 3:08 to go in the period.
You know, we were talking a little bit earlier, John, about who might score the first goal in this game, and I said if I was a betting lady, I would have my money on Jess Bella for the Toronto Furies. And you sort of jokingly mentioned Emily Boccia, but she's one of the only girls up front for the Canadiens that has yet to score a goal this season. She does have an assist. She's played in 6 games this year, and that one assist came in the first game in the 5-2 win over Brampton, so she'd be happy to manage another point in this game.
Boccia is definitely somebody from her days in the CIS that was known as more of a defensive forward. So no real surprise there, but definitely somebody, if she's starting to contribute offensively, you're definitely going to see somebody, you're going to see a certain coach very, very happy, and that would be the coach, Danny Brunet of the Canadiennes. Bonello back behind her own goal, starts the rush up left side, backhands the pass out to center ice as Carly Hill stole it for Les Canadiens. She went to Chartrand, who gives and goes with Bette. Chartrand with it, goes to the right side, but Bette had peeled off to go to the bench for a line change, and that allows Toronto to regroup and set the play up as Spooner gives it to Baldwin. Baldwin at center will roll the puck into the offensive zone. 2:20 to go in the first period. No score between Les Canadiens de Montréal and the Toronto Furies here at the Centre Étienne Desmarteaux. Here is Katia Clément Aydra. Behind the net she goes. Out the far side. Gives it to Marin. Marin back to the blue line. Aymar keeps it in at the blue line. Slap shot was blocked there by the stick of Sarah Stevenson. And now Toronto will clear it out to center. Fulton lost the puck. And Bro plays it back ahead for Deschênes. Deschênes' wrist shot goes into the paraphernalia of Bonello. And she will play it up the near boards out to center. Prévost springs Chevry free on the left side. Chevry has to go wide. Gives it to Fulton. Her shot is knocked down in front of the net there by Clément Aydra, and now the puck will be cleared out to center as Marin skates left to right in neutral ice, allowing her team to go for a partial line change, and she springs Peroff free. Jordana Peroff into the offensive zone, left wing side, going towards the goal. She's knocked down by Hill as the puck goes into the far corner with 1:23 to go here in the first period. A great opportunity there for Les Canadiens, but that doesn't work as the puck is cleared out to center ice. Julie Chu Couldn't advance the puck into the offensive zone as we are now 60 seconds remaining in period number 1. Rougeau with it in her own zone. Starts the rush up, goes right to left into the offensive zone. She goes, wrist shot just wide of the near post. Zamora out to center. Intercepted there by Chu. She'll give it to Peroff, who plays it back to Chu. 45 seconds to go in the opening frame. Chu, far side for Rougeau. Up the boards to Leslie Oles. She will chip it ahead out to center, and the Canadiens will go for a line change. Caroline Ouellette steals the puck, but they have to wait for Blais to get onside. Here comes Ouellette now going towards the goal with Chartrand. Poulain now has it. Left side. Poulain lost a handle on the puck as it rolls over to the near boards. 25 seconds to go in the period. Poulain lifts it behind the goal. Saunders for Toronto. To the far side, chipping it out to center is Ashton Hogan. Solo player rush. She overskates the disc in neutral territory and will play it in deep. Carly Hill back in her own zone. 10 seconds to go. Pass up the left wing side for Bette. She tips it into the offensive zone. No icing. Suzuki back as Kessler plays it over to the near boards. As time will expire here in the opening period. A very exciting one between Toronto and Les Canadiens. No score in the hockey game through 20 minutes of play. Each netminer making a couple of key stops, but in the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game, it was certainly Christina Kessler who was much more involved in the play than her Montreal counterpart, Charlene Labonte, who did have to make a couple of quality saves in that opening period to keep the score knotted up at zeros after 20 minutes of play. When we come back, it's our first intermission brought to you by the Dairy Farmers of Canada. You're watching CWHL live from the Centre Étienne Desmarteaux in Montreal.
You do know that there's only 4 seasons, right?
Then how do you explain the way kids wish away the summer because we can't wait to play in the fall? Or how teammates often become best mates? Or how families happily vacation in Winnipeg in January because that's where the tournament is? So you see, Miss Woods, there is a 5th season, and it's the best season in Canada.
So you're talking about hockey?
Oh, it's more than just talking, Miss Woods.
Scotiabank is proud to support over 5,000 teams in Canada's 5th season.
100% énergie. 100% passion. 100% effort. Pourtant, les femmes n'ont que 5% de visibilité. Les producteurs laitiers canadiens croient que les athlètes féminines devraient être vues et entendues haut et fort. Avec Nourrir la passion du sport féminin, nous célébrons les athlètes féminines de tous les niveaux. Joignez-nous à Vive le sport féminin.
No score after 20 minutes of play here in Montreal. Let's go downstairs and join Robin Flynn, who's standing by with Caroline Ouellette.
Hi, John. I'm here with Caroline Ouellette after 20 minutes of play, still scoreless at Étienne Desmarteaux Arena. Caro, how did you feel about your team's sustained offensive zone pressure in that first period?
I think we had some really good moments, and we had some moments where we, we gave them a few good chances from our prime scoring area, so we got to tighten it up defensively, and I think we can be better than how we played in the first.
How did you feel about that first power play opportunity that your team had? You weren't able to score, but did you feel you got some good looks?
Yeah, I think we tried to get a lot of shots on the net. They did a great job blocking shots. I think we're going to have to make sure we have good screen, and so that the goalie, Kessler, can't see the puck, and that would help. But we moved the puck pretty well. Now we got to have a few shots on the net.
It's been a while since you've played a game at home. It's been almost 6 weeks. What's it like coming back home in front of all the fans?
I mean, we love to play at home. We have the best crowd. It's amazing to see that. So many young girls that play hockey. And I think that's really, because of all the great work that Meg Ewings, our GM, and all the staff, Fiona Robinson, all the staff that she's surrounded herself with over the years. And she's worked so hard to grow that fan base. And it's great to see similar faces come back every game.
Thank you very much, Carolyn. Good luck in the second.
Thank you.
Back to you, John.
Thank you, Robin. No score between Montreal and Toronto after 20 minutes of play. This is CWHL Live, coming to you from Montreal.
Hey! 100% énergie. 100% passion. 100% effort. Pourtant, les femmes n'ont que 5% de visibilité. Les producteurs laitiers canadiens croient que les athlètes féminines devraient être vues et entendues haut et fort. Avec Nourrir la passion du sport féminin, nous célébrons les athlètes féminines de tous les niveaux. Joignez-nous à Vive le sport féminin.
When I was 7, I wore these gloves. They held this stick. Well, these skates carried me over the blue line. We won the championship. And now, it's all yours. Cool. Oh, and this mouth guard. I'll get my own. Thanks.
The 5th season is when spirit for the game gets passed down. That's why we're proud to support over 5,000 teams.
Seen and heard loud and clear. With Fueling Women's Champions, we're shining a light on women athletes at every level. Join us. #ChampionHer.
Kimmy, you do know that there's only 4 seasons, right?
Then how do you explain the way kids wish away the summer because we can't wait to play in the fall? Or how teammates often become best mates? Or how families happily vacation in Winnipeg in January because that's where the tournament is? So you see, Miss Woods, there is a 5th season, and it's the best season in Canada.
So you're talking about hockey?
Oh, it's more than just talking, Miss Woods.
Scotiabank is proud to support over 5,000 teams in Canada's 5th season.
100% énergie. 100% passion. 100% effort. Pourtant, les femmes n'ont que 5% de visibilité. Les producteurs laitiers canadiens croient que les athlètes féminines devraient être vues et entendues haut et fort. Avec Nourrir la passion du sport féminin, nous célébrons les athlètes féminines de tous les niveaux. Joignez-nous à Vive le sport féminin.
Back here at the Centre Étienne Desmarteaux, no score between the Toronto Furies and les Canadiennes de Montréal after 20 minutes of play. Let's send it back downstairs to our CWHL Live studio. Here's Robin Flynn.
I'm here with Linda Barrell, the author of Nos Glorieuses, the book all about women's hockey and how it has grown. And what I loved looking at this book was seeing all these girls playing in skirts. And you have to look at how the girls are now with full equipment. I have to wonder, where did you get all of these photos and all this history? The research must have been incredible.
Yeah, well, I've been working for 4 years on the book. It was a lot of research, but a lot of fun too, because that's how it happened. Is I'm usually working at the CBC, and a few years ago I did work on a television series called Hockey: A People's History. And that's when I discovered that women had been playing law hockey for a long, long time. I was, to show you how ignorant I was, I thought that Manon Réaume was the one who had invented the ladies game. So I started to see old pictures from women in those long skirts, and I thought, well, my goodness, how come I'd never seen that before? Well, in English Canada, women's hockey's history is a lot better known than it is in Quebec. Here, there had never been a book about women's hockey's history, and that's why I started to dig, and I found, incredible pictures of women dating back from the late the 19th century and the early 20th century too.
What a lot of people may not know, they see the new name, the Canadiennes, for this team, and they think it only has to do with the Canadiens, the men's hockey team. But this actually goes back to a women's hockey team from a while ago.
Yeah, it was back in the 1930s, and what I've discovered working on this book is that women have been playing in all Montreal Canadiens arenas. Back in 1900 at the Westmount Arena, where the Montreal Canadiens were playing, in the 1910s at the Montreal Jubilee Rink, in the 1920s at the Montreal Arena, and in the 1930s, women were playing at the Montreal Forum. Every season they were having their playoffs in Montreal, and then back then there was two professional men's teams, the Montreal Canadiens, which were the French Canadiens, and the Montreal Maroons, which were the English Canadiens. And there was an intense rivalry between the two teams, but there was the same intense rivalry between the two female teams called Les Canadiennes and the Montreal Maroons, the female Montreal Maroons. And each season, women from Ontario and women from Prince Edward Island were coming to Montreal at the Montreal Forum playing playoffs against Montreal women. So, and no one knew about that. I didn't know. People around me didn't know. So I wanted to show, because it's so much not a part of our collective memory here in Quebec, in French Quebec anyways, that I wanted to show lots of pictures, and there are over 200 illustrations in the book. That was very important to me, not only to write about the history, but also to show it.
Linda Barrel is the author of Nos Glorieuses, A History of Women's Hockey in Canada and in Quebec. Thanks so much for your time, Linda.
My pleasure.
Back to you, John.
Thank you very much, Robin Flynn. No score after 20 minutes of play between Montreal and Toronto. Shots on goal in the first period favor the Canadiens, 11-4. We're going to take a quick time out and come back with our second period action from the Centre Étienne Desmarteaux. This is CWHL Live.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the program. Now the local Montreal Stars of the Canadian Women's Hockey League are now part of a whole new galaxy. The team has joined forces with the Montreal Canadiens to leverage their brand and encourage the development of women's hockey here in Quebec. Take a look. A new agreement between the Montreal Canadiens and the Canadian Women's Hockey League is letting the Stars shine.
We're very proud of this partnership. You are an example to many of the young girls who are starting to play hockey. Our intent is to put the Montreal Canadiens marketing machine behind you to make hockey more important in Quebec, especially girls hockey and women's hockey, and to help grow the sport.
On a tous et toutes rêvé de jouer pour la Canadienne de Montréal un jour et de gagner une Coupe Stanley. Malheureusement, c'est pas arrivé encore. Par contre, on est libre. On n'a pas de contrat encore.
This agreement is meant to raise the profile of the Stars by associating with one of the most storied franchises in the world. The Stars are the third team in the league to join with their NHL counterparts, following in the footsteps of Calgary and Toronto.
It's just a matter of growing the game and growing the number of players. Here in Quebec, 7,000 compared to about 30 in Ontario. So there's still a lot of work to do here, and that's why an association with the Habs here really believe in our sport and they want to be part of it.
Just the visibility. A lot of people talk about women's hockey once every 4 years. The Olympics are so big, but I wonder, do they ask where those girls are playing the rest of the years? Just having more, as I said, visibility, and just that people know about us and who we are. That we walk on the street and we say, do you know who the Montreal Stars is?
The Canadiens will be offering their expertise in marketing, advertising, and helping to promote the team. The most noticeable changes will be the team's name and jersey design. There's one goal that is yet to be achieved: turning the Stars into a moneymaker for the players.
I think with a league that's still growing, we don't have any full-time members that are actually paid of each team. So everyone's a volunteer, and we have an amazing staff, but it's really difficult to really get out into communities as much as we want to.
The agreement seems especially appropriate when looking at the similarities between the two teams. The Stars are the most successful CWHL team, taking home 3 of the 8 Clarkson Cup titles, while the Canadiens are obviously famously known for their record of 24 Stanley Cups. While there are a wealth of Olympians on both teams, Montreal is making its case for being the best goaltending city in the world, currently boasting 2 Olympic gold medalists.
Yeah, it's cool. Obviously, it gives some of the best female players in Canada and the world a home to play. It's really good to see them get an opportunity, and it speaks volumes of the organization here to step up and help them out.
I watch Olympics. I was pretty into it. Obviously excited when Canada won, but that's pretty much as I follow. I've got a few. I played with some girls growing up, and I check in on how they're doing. They're over at colleges and stuff like that. So you want to see them do well and hopefully eventually represent their country.
While many kids look up to Montreal's greatest players, the Stars are hoping that soon there will be room for new idols in the boys' club.
I think a huge part of getting young girls into the rink and thinking that they can actually play hockey too is to see it. When you have role models that are strong, confident women that are playing great level of hockey, you're able to have these young girls coming to the stands and see them and maybe want to emulate them. And then they'll be able to go home and say, hey, can I try this sport? And now giving them some resources to be able to do it in their local communities.
Well, they have the chance to look up to girls and having that dream to play in our NHL, which is the CWHL. I think it's a great opportunity. And if I could, I would go back as a little kid and then redo it all over again. But right now we're kind of writing history for them, and it's kind of undescribable, but it's actually amazing. I hope one day somebody's going to say, hey, I want to be like her.
0-0 after 20 minutes of play here at the Centre Étienne Desmarteaux as you take a look at the Canadiennes de Montréal, who are about ready to come back out onto the ice for the second period of tonight's game against the Toronto Furies. And our scoring summary in the first period, very, very simple. Robin?
0-0 after 20 minutes of play. The Canadiens were the only ones to get a power play opportunity. No score after 20.
Shots on goal in that first period, 11-4 in favor of the Canadiens. Most of their quality chances came in the first 5 or 6 minutes of the hockey game.
Yeah, when I was speaking just now with Caroline Ouellette, she was a little concerned about a few defensive gaps that they had in their play in that first period, despite outshooting their opponent 11-4. I mean, Caroline Ouellette is just a perfectionist, and she always strives to be perfect on the ice. I think that the Canadiens need to score, but they want to make sure that they're not giving up any prime opportunities to the Toronto Furies, who, despite only getting 4 shots on goal, have looked really good thus far.
We'd like to apologize for some technical difficulties that we had in the first period. We had a couple of issues with some audio at the beginning of the broadcast. Everything is now under control, and it will be when we archive the game in the CWHL Live website, which, despite the fact that tonight's game is free for anybody who's watching, thanks to the Dairy Farmers of Canada, other games, it's behind a paywall. But the day after, you can watch the games in the archive, and we have beautiful full HD with audio of tonight's game.
And that includes the interviews between intermissions. So if you missed it, you can always go back and check out my conversation with Caroline Ouellette.
So we're underway here in the second period. Ouellette in the slot, takes a shot, nice pass from Bete, and it's kicked aside by Kessler. Behind the net, Marie-Philippe Poulain with the puck. Poulain, centering pass, Bete with a tight shot that may have been stopped by Sina Suzuki.
You know, just before the start of the second period, John, I met a little girl named Ann-Sophie. She has the same name as Ann-Sophie Bete. And when I asked her, who's your favorite player on the Canadiens, she said all of them, which is a very good answer.
So we'll face it off in the, well, actually, a little bit of a discussion where we're facing it off because Toronto is saying that Montreal shot the puck over the glass and vice versa. So we'll just wait to see where the officials determine the face-off to be. And it will be to the left of Kessler. Bete, Poulain, and Ouellette out there. Chu and Rougeau on the back end. Toronto will go for a line change here. And in fact, they're going to only send out 3 players here as one of the 2 referees for tonight's game goes over to speak with the bench. And actually, it's because a penalty has been assessed to Suzuki for delay of game.
Suzuki, one of 2 Japanese players on the Toronto Furies. For the first time in this year's CWHL entry draft, a bunch of Japanese girls came over, which finds herself in the penalty box right now.
So the Canadiens go to their second power play of the hockey game. Poulain at the right point, plays it down low in the right corner for Ouellette. Back to Poulain, give and go to Ouellette in the corner. She'll skate it to the half boards, now gives it to Rougeau at the top of the umbrella. Back to Ouellette. Caro skates over the left side, goes to the forehand, dishes to Julie Chu. Chu back to the blue line, wrist shot through traffic, and Rougeau sent it towards the goal, but the puck just died in the slot. Here's Julie Chu at the left point. Tebete, cross-ice scores!
Wow, what an opportunity. You knew that was coming. I definitely lost the first goal pool. My money was on Toronto's Vela scoring the first one, but it looks like it's Ann-Sophie Bete. We've got a girl by the name of Ann-Sophie standing right next to us, and she's cheering quite loudly with that one-timer that just beat Kessler. She had no chance on that one. Just a few moments before, you thought that they were going to score when Lauriane Rougeau just had the puck sort of bobble on her stick, but there they go, 1-0 Canadiennes over the Toronto Furies.
And so picks up her league-leading third power play goal of the campaign, and her fourth overall as Les Canadiens take the lead 1-0, 1:04 into the second period. Carly Hill will send the puck into the offensive zone. Marin on the far side with it, settles the puck down. She's being bothered there by Fulton and Prévost. The puck comes free, and it'll be Gaskin with it for Toronto. Fulton now with it. So Poulin picks up an assist on the goal.
That's her 12th point on the season in just her 5th CWHL game.
And Julie Chu picks up the other helper at 1:04 of period number 2.
That definitely helps their power play. They were already a league-leading power play, but on their 9th power play of their 33rd opportunity, they find it. And that definitely helps them because despite the fact that they were heavily out shooting the Toronto Furies in the first period, the Canadiennes weren't able to find the back of the net, so that's got to be a bit of a relief for them.
So we'll face it off to the right of Kessler. Minute 29 expired here in the second stanza. It is 1-0 Les Canadiens on a power play goal by Bete at the 1:04 mark of this frame. Here is Terry lifting the puck onto the right side. Try to hit Spooner, and Leslie Olds has it for the Canadiens into the offensive zone. She'll play it to Chu in the slot. Slow shot that almost defied Kessler, and now back the other way comes Terry for Toronto. Rougeau behind her own net with the puck. Rougeau goes cross ice. Emmanuel Blais has to come back for it. She's knocked down in the defensive zone by Terry. And now Rougeau will clear it out to center ice. Here is Shannon Molson skating over to the near side. Ahead for Terry to Spooner just out of her reach. Terry comes up with it on the near side. And a penalty from the back official being called. And it might be a hooking penalty here. Let's see what the call is. It is a hooking call. And it's going to go against Baldwin of Toronto. So Les Canadiens, who just scored on the power play to start this period on a delay of game call, goes back to the power play for the second time.
Toronto does not want to get themselves into penalty trouble right now. This is not how you're going to get back into this hockey game, especially when Baldwin, she's no slouch to the penalty box. This is going to be her 5th penalty of the season.
Off the face-off, the pass came back to Julie Chu out of her reach, and here is Vera on the right side. Into the offensive zone, takes a shot, kick saved by Lavante as the puck comes over to the near side, and Willette curls out to center. She has Betty on the left wing side. Caro going wide on the right side, into the corner, puts the brakes on, plays it back to the blue line for Julie Chu. Chu, cross-ice pass for Rougeau. Rougeau down to Poulin. Poulin working off of the half-wall left side. Her saucer pass for Chu skips over her stick and back out to center. Rougeau backpedaling at her own blue line, gives it to Poulin, who streaks into the offensive zone, right side. Puts the brakes on in the rings, dishes off to Willette in the right wing corner. Back to Cathy Chartrand. Chartrand, left side for Aymar. Back to Chartrand, top of the umbrella. Now wrists it through, and Poulin tips it towards the goal. But coming up with it was Suzuki, and she will lift it out to center, but not far enough for Toronto to complete a line change here as Aymar will skid it back into the offensive zone. Toronto got a partial line change there on the PK, but Les Canadiens were offside.
The Canadiens, that's their, third, fourth offside call of the game. They're finding themselves on the wrong side of the blue line more often than not, but yet they're on the wrong side of the scoreboard, the right side of the scoreboard with that 1-0 lead.
Marin Deschênes and Clément Aydra out there. Aymar and Chartrand on the back end. Hogan Chevery, Shannon Molson, and Laurel Hill out there on the PK for Toronto. Chartrand Lifts the puck in on the left wing side, going back to play to Shannon Molson. She'll hammer it around to the near side. Amar had came down from the right point position, cut it off at the half boards, and gives it to her line mate, Marin, in the corner. Chevry plays the puck up the wall, continuing to fight for it. 3 Canadiens, now 4 red jerseys on the wall, trying to poke the puck free as Chevry rags time off on this penalty kill. And the puck does come free to Deschênes. She gives it to Marin, who skates it into the right wing corner. Marin towards the goal. She waits. She loses a handle on it as she came across the face of the goal. And Shannon Molson has it on the far side. Clears to the line, kept in by Cathy Chartrand. Chartrand, first shot, tipped in front by Marin. It just went out the near side as Marin got her stick on it but couldn't tip it the right way. Penalty over as Chartrand hammers a drive wide of the mark. Puck comes over to the near side. Aymar to Marin, behind the net it goes. Katia Clément-Aidra with it. She comes out the near side. Back to the blue line to the captain, Cathy Chartrand. Slap shot, and a nice stop there by Kessler as she took that one to the breadbasket.
Wow, you can see her sort of stumbling away from that one, that even with all that protective gear the goalies wear, she definitely felt that one. Wouldn't be surprised if there's a big bruise right in the center of her chest tomorrow.
I used to say when we were doing CIS games that I would take Cathy Chartrand's slap shot over most blue liners in men's CIS hockey.
Oh yeah, she's definitely got a hard one. This defensive core as a whole for the Canadiens, we saw a big slapper from Julie Chu in the first period. I mean, you don't want to be in front of these ones.
Here is Bro. Bro at the near point. Plays it into the corner. That is Poulin. Back to Bro. Bro to Poulin. Carol in front of the goal. And here is Bette. Bette, cross ice left side for Hill. Carly Hill backpedals. Gives it to Bro on the near side, but she may have actually been intending to pass that to Bette, who had curled into the middle of the ice. She will chip it into the offensive zone. Gaskin gives chase. Plays it over to the far side. Poulin gets to the boards and seals it off. Gaskin again for Toronto. Tries to come up with it. Willette sidesteps the check of a Toronto player. And here is Bette. Bette swings it back into the right corner for Willette. Back to Carly Hill. She had a tough time handling that pass, but keeps it onside. Now plays it down to Bette. It goes off of her skate to Willette. Down low, Poulin. Poulin, centering pass. And it just went wide of the mark. Poulin back to the line. She comes into the slot. Dishes off, left side. A centering pass for Willette, and she tips it into the paraphernalia of a Toronto player, and clearing it over the glass and out of play were the Furies.
Doesn't quite look like the same Toronto team that you saw in the first period. They've spent very little time in front of Charlene Labonte, who right now is just taking off her pads and lifting up her face mask, sort of trying to keep herself into this game.
Now, Toronto's still looking for its first shot of this second stanza. Prévost off of the face-off. Nice little spin move. Skates it into the Canadian zone. She is knocked off the puck by Chu. Chu gives it away. But was shot stopped by Labonte. A good quick reflex there. She sneaked out the left pad to keep this game 1-0 in favor of Les Canadiennes. One of the rare mistakes that you will see Julie Chu make defensively as she played the puck right onto the stick of Bonello for Toronto. Here's Rougeau behind her own net. To Julie Chu on the far side. Puts the brakes on, spins away from a check, turns the puck over. Fulton has it. Emily Fulton, top of the slot, takes a wrist shot. Knocked down by Chu in front, and Emmanuel Blais has it. Blais on the left side. She's got Oles with her. Blais goes wide, tries to get around Bonello. She does. Behind the net she goes. Dishes to Leslie Oles. Oles comes out to the half board, centering pass, hits Bonello, and the puck will skip out to center. And the Canadiens will go for a line change here as Oles brings it to the blue line, and Perov brings it in onside. Perov knocked off the puck by Ashton Hogan as the puck is cleared behind the Toronto goal. Suzuki with it, chips it up the boards, out to center. Zamora will tip it ahead, but it's intercepted by Chartrand. She springs Carly Hill free on the right side, and now she will play it in deep. Bonello on the far side for Zamora, and she is stick checked by Alyssa Sherrard just inside the blue line, but Toronto is eventually able to get it out to Suzuki, skates it into the Canadiens zone. Vela going towards the goal, long high shot, glove stopped by Labonte, big rebound in front, but Jess Vela was unable to get her stick on the disc to tap it beyond the Canadiens netminder.
Well, I think the ref lost sight of the puck there because I don't think that Charlene Labonte knew where the puck was at that moment, so that whistle couldn't have come soon enough. As you see, it looked like Vela was coming in front. Was that Julie Chu trying to clear the puck a little bit earlier? You want to keep an eye on Julie Chu. I noticed her fall a little bit awkwardly in the corner there just after that giveaway. She got right up and managed to get her stick on the puck, but let's just keep an eye on that and make sure she's not suffering any damage there.
On the out-of-town scoreboard, the Calgary Inferno leads the Brampton Thunder in a battle for first place. 1-0 in the first period, very early in the hockey game. In fact, actually just 16 seconds into the match, Jill Saulnier scores for Calgary.
Man, that team just looks so good this year. Everybody's focusing on Haley Wickenheiser, but she's not the only one that can play well on the Calgary Inferno's team.
Bette with a shot off of the near side. Bonello will skate it out to center. She plays it ahead to Kelly Terry, and Spooner gives chase. It's behind the net. The Canadiennes turn it over. Baldwin picks off Rougeau's clearing attempt. Willette on the far side now, battling with Natalie Spooner. And that is one of the few mismatches, non-mismatches between those two players, because there is a size difference. Natalie Spooner, Caroline Willette, and a lot of the players in this league.
Yeah, both of them are in excess of 5'10", so it's definitely usually you see them towering over the other girls, and you see these girls are about 5'3", 5'4" on average.
Terry will sweep the puck into the offensive zone as Toronto goes for a line change. Here's Chelsea Saunders. She'll play the puck ahead on the left side. Deschênes, but Noémie Marin is offside, just a half a stride ahead of the play on the right wing.
Well, Toronto is definitely looking a lot better as we're approaching the second half of the second period. At the beginning, they were getting themselves into a lot of penalty trouble. Now that they're staying out of the box, they're able to try and mount a comeback. They're only down by 1, and once you tie it up, it's a completely different hockey game.
5-2 are the shots this period in favor of Les Canadiens. Emma feathers it through for Marin. She got her stick on it, but it rolled gingerly and harmlessly in on goal. Here's Clément Edra centering pass. Deschênes whacking away at it. And a good stop by Kessler as she held her post. Here's Marin. Back to the blue line it goes. Saunders to Aymar. Aymar, nice move to keep the puck on side and not being pickpocketed by Prévost. As Marin has it below the goal line, leaves it for Katia Clément Edra. Her centering pass goes off of Fulton. Edra has it again as the puck is now tipped ahead out to center by Molson, and skating it into the offensive zone is Corey Chevry. The former St. FX ex-woman takes a wrist shot on Labonte, and the puck comes over to the near side. In fact, those two players met in the CIS championship game in both of their final seasons at the Waterloo Rec Complex that saw the McGill Martlets win their third CIS championship. Here is Saunders coming down below the goal line. The play slowing down here. Saunders dishes off on the right side, and a slap shot in tight by Prévost is easily handled by Labonte, as she did not get all of the wood on the puck that she wished to on that particular attempt.
Corey Chevry is a force out there on the ice. She definitely goes, balls to the walls, if you can use that expression. She definitely has a lot of grit, and she's definitely somebody who's going to go to the net, and she's going to go hard. She's definitely got to be difficult to play against.
Saunders plays the puck in behind the net. Here's Chapin with it for Les Canadiennes. She'll bring it to the half boards and then reverses behind the net for Carly Hill. Hill up the far side. Leslie Oles sidesteps the check of Vela and will pass the puck over to Chapin, who skates it out to center. At the red line, she'll backhand it in on goal as Kessler was required to play that puck. She was going to let it go wide of the net, and then all of a sudden it took a funky bounce as the puck hit the edge and jumped in on goal.
It's really going end to end right now. We're not seeing as much focus on Kessler. She's getting some breathing time as we're seeing the play go back to the other side and seeing Labonte face some action as well. Les Canadiennes out shooting Toronto 17-7 right now with just under 10 minutes left to play in the second period.
We are officially at the midpoint of regulation time as Bette has it. She takes a wrist shot that got through the legs of Baldwin in on goal. And Kessler, I'm not sure how she saw that.
Keep that puck out of the net.
Here is Poulain. Juking and jiving. Back to Julie Chu. Wrist shot through traffic, and blocking it in front was Michelle Bonello. Comes back to Chu. To Laurent Rougeau. Over to Chu. Chu, top of the umbrella, dishes off to Poulain. Poulain takes the shot, hits Bonello again. My goodness. Bonello is taking a beating with the shots to the shins and the skates tonight.
Yeah, she's definitely going to be battered and bruised when she wakes up tomorrow. I think a lot of the Toronto Furies players are going to be feeling the effects of this hockey game when they wake up tomorrow morning, and they play again tomorrow afternoon.
Spooner, who has been a Canadian killer over the years, Plays the puck ahead to Terry into the offensive zone. Drop pass Shannon Molson into the slot. Takes a shot, and it goes wide of the near post. Bette will tip it out to center. Here's Carol Ouellette on a 2-on-1 with Marie-Philippe Poulin. Ouellette in, over to Poulin, but the puck skips over her stick to the far corner, and Toronto will hammer the puck down the ice. Here's Prevost giving chase as she will catch up to it. Cuts inside, but Hill does a great job not allowing her to get around her, and the puck rolls into Labonte, and she calmly puts her mitt on the puck.
You know, I was speaking not too long ago with Jordana Peroff about an article that I had written about 10 reasons why Marie-Philippe Poulin is cooler than you. And apparently all the girls on the team were coming up with some more reasons why Marie-Philippe Poulin is awesome. So I'll have to catch up with them and find out some more reasons why Marie-Philippe Poulin is great, besides, you know, 2 game-winning goals in the Olympics and being so gracious and meeting all her fans whenever.
Here is Alyssa Sherrard in left side. She's got Lachance going towards the front of the goal. Sherrard behind the goal. She is sealed off there. Lachance with it. Lachance plays it back to Hill, and it comes out to center ice. And Robin, where can people read that article?
If you go to habseyesontheprize.com, there's a lot of excellent CWHL coverage there, especially with a focus on Les Canadiennes.
As the puck is on the far side, here is Chevery playing it back to her blue liner. Katie Gaskin ahead to Prevost into the offensive zone left wing side. She is stood up there by Cathy Chartrand, who is like the immovable, impenetrable wall on defense. And Carly Hill has up the near side. Here's Sarah Lachance skating it out to center. Head full of steam. Has the stick knocked out of her hand by Chevery. Suzuki plays it ahead to Chevery. Chevery can't sidestep the check of Bacchia. And now the puck is sent deep into Toronto territory with 7:43 to go in the second period. 1-0 the Canadiens lead on the power play goal by Bette at 1:04 of the second period. Here's Clément Edra. Dishes to Deschênes, back to the line, Bro with a shot, tipped in front twice, and a nice stop by Kessler, and she is in the zone tonight.
No, I think the Canadiennes may have gotten away with one there. Looked like Bacchia had her stick right up in Chevery's face. That could have easily been a high-sticking or even a cross-checking penalty, but no call was made on the ice, so the Canadiennes do not have to go to the penalty kill.
This is a little bit earlier on when Julie Chu spins and then turned the puck over. As we take a look at the face-off to the right of Kessler. Poulin could not catch up to the puck behind the net, but Hogan plays it back down low, which might have been a mistake as Hill takes Poulin hard to the boards. That's going to be a body-checking call against the Toronto blue liner. Actually, it'll be a roughing call. It could have been a lot of things, but it's not easy to push Marie-Philippe Poulin around, and she was shoved back into the boards. So Les Canadiens go to their 4th power play of the game, 1 for 3 so far.
This is not uncommon to see with superstars in any league, in any sport. It's that you're simply not fast enough or good enough to keep up with them. So when you have a girl like Marie-Philippe Poulin who's just so elite on the ice, you sometimes have to resort to these kind of dirty plays to try and slow her down. Unfortunately, that lands you in the penalty box more often than not, and that's got to be frustrating for Toronto right now.
Well, especially when it's right in front of the official, and Summer West cannot be pleased with that call. So Bonello will play the puck right into the Canadiens bench as she was trying to hit the top of the dasher and send it out to center. So the faceoff comes back into the right of Kessler. On the PK, it's Bonello and Suzuki on the blue line for Toronto. Vela up front with Prevost. It's Ouellette, Poulin, and Bette up front. Chu and Rougeau on the blue line for the Canadiens. Suzuki, stick check there. As Toronto clears to the blue line, Chu has it. Chu over to Rougeau at the right point. She'll bank it off of the boards, down low for Bette. Bette knocked down by Bonello. She gets back up and has the puck back on her stick, thanks to Caroline Ouellette. Ouellette tries to go back to Bette again. It connects as all of the forwards are on the near side. It was Julie Chu that was in the slot there. Bette now with it. Bette walking off of the right wing wall, back to Poulin, over to Rougeau at the left point. Rougeau, wrist shot through traffic, knocked down in front. It actually hit Julie Chu. Here's Bette in front with a wrist shot that just goes wide of the far post. Suzuki up the far boards. Vela will hammer it down the ice, and that will afford Toronto to change 3 of the 4 penalty killers out here with 1:05 to go in the power play for the Canadiens.
No, interesting to note that Shannon Molson's on the ice for Toronto on this PK. Usually she finds herself in the box. She leads the team with 14 penalty minutes, but she's been out for all of Toronto's penalty kills in this game thus far.
Aymar up the near side for Noémie Marin, the number 2 power play unit out there for Les Canadiennes. Marin powers it into the corner. Spooner and her battling for the puck. Clément Hydra trying to spring the puck free. She does, goes back to Aymar, but a good job there at the blue line by Balden to get it out to center as she barreled over Aymar. Now here's Marin into the slot, hit the goal post! A wrist shot that went off of the blocker of Kessler and hit the post. And now back the other way is trying to spring Spooner free was the blue liner Gaskin, but she didn't see the puck. And that allows Les Canadiennes to continue late in this power play. 5 seconds to go. Marin in on the near side. Dishes to Deschênes. Leaves it for Clément Hydra. She'll go behind the net for Marin. Marin with the puck for Les Canadiens. Battling with Fulton. Fulton comes up with the puck as she knocks Marin to the ice. Clément Hydra with it. Behind the goal she goes. Centering pass attempt for Bro. That doesn't work. And Prévost is back the other way into the offensive zone. Pass for Chevry is behind her as Bonello was going towards the goal. Here's Fulton with it. She dishes off on the right side for her teammate as Saunders takes the shot. She actually kept the puck a lot longer, Prévost, she did, than she may have liked to. Gaskin plays it back in on the offside. However, everybody on the Toronto bench is wondering why, and it appeared from our vantage point up here that that puck might have still had a half a disc on the line.
Yeah, that looked onside to me. It's a little surprising to hear that whistle there. Toronto's got to be frustrated there. It's really hard to get back into the game when you're taking penalties. Calls aren't going your way. Looked like they had a missed call a little bit earlier where Toronto would have had an opportunity to go on to the power play. At this point, I mean, with just over 4.5 minutes left to go in the second period, they need to score a goal before the period is up if they want to win this hockey game.
The Canadiens also have come close a couple of times, hitting a couple of goalposts, and you wonder if maybe they're just being snake bitten a little bit here thus far this evening in the hockey game. Here's Emmanuel Blais on the left wing side. She's got Perroff streaking towards the goal. Dishes off to Bro, who is the trailer on the right side. Go behind that. Perroff with a pass in front for Blais. Olds has it now. Olds wrist shot tipped wide, and Blais is upended in front of the goal. No call on the play as Vela will play it over to the near side, and tipping it out to center is Ashton Hogan. Julie Chu back in her own zone, battling there with Terry, and Julie Chu upended in neutral ice, but is able to forward the puck ahead to Perroff. Back to Chu, wrist shot, and that just goes over the bar. No one was expecting Julie Chu to be able to get it all the way up the ice and then to finish that playoff with a scoring chance for Les Canadiennes.
Looks like she's no worse for wear. We were a little worried after she went awkwardly in the corner a little bit earlier, but she's had a few good opportunities and definitely looks great.
Chu picks it off again, gives it to Poulin. Poulin into the slot. Marie-Philippe Poulin takes the shot. Blocker stopped by Kessler. It might have actually been her right shoulder as the rising wrister might have been going wide of the cage. Chu, far side of Rougeau. Rougeau tipped in front. A nice play there by Ouellette as she was able to redirect the puck in front of the goal, but there was no red jersey there. Rougeau to Chu. Chu ahead to Betty on the right wing side. To Ouellette coming in. Poulin in front. Has it. Back to Ouellette. And a great stop as Kessler comes right to left to keep this game 1-0. Chartrand ahead at center. Here is Betty in. Betty drops. Poulin in. Shoots. Goes wide. She had a great chance, and then Poulin is upended. The fans wanted a penalty call on that play. 2:45 to go in period number 2. Still 1-0 on the power play marker by Ann-Sophie Betty at the 1:04 mark of this middle stanza. Stevenson at the blue line loses the puck, and Les Canadiens battling on the near side at center. Molson will play it in deep. Here's Cathy Chartrand back behind her own goal. Starting the rush up, coming across to the right wing side for Blais. Up the middle for Clément Hydra. The pass on the left side for Deschênes did not connect as Toronto was able to intercept it. Here's Deschênes going far side, and it connects this time. Here's Emmanuel Blais towards the goal. Wrist shot stopped by Kessler, and she holds on for the whistle.
Kessler has been absolutely outstanding in this hockey game. Even on the ones that went in off the goalpost, it was because, as any goalie will tell you, that's all they gave you.
Shots right now we have to get a little bit of an update. There's about a 2-minute lag on our live stats, but according to the shots, 9-4 in this period in favor of Les Canadiennes for a game total of 28 for Toronto thus far in the game. And that's been their biggest challenge this year. It's what Summer West told us in the pregame, that her team has had some difficulty putting the puck in the net this year, and that's been a a challenge for them in this hockey game, getting scoring chances.
If you're not shooting the puck, they're not going to go in. So you need to shoot, even if it doesn't look like the best scoring opportunity. Firing the puck on the goaltender is never a bad choice.
But they're still in this hockey game, down just by a goal, as we are inside 2 minutes to play in period number 2. Bringing the puck up at center on the near side. That was Marin with Perhoff. Marin has to wait for Olsz to get onside, and now the Canadiens will play it in deep. 1:35 to go in the period. Pass up the near side for Chevry out of her reach. It will roll in on Labonte, and she will play it to Amar. Karel Amar, far side for Julie Chu. Ahead for Ouellette. Nice little move as she sidestepped the check at Prévost. Ouellette at center, in over the blue line. Ouellette towards the goal. She shoots. Stopped by Kessler. The rebound is covered up by the Toronto netminder, and now Poulin getting into a shoving match with Bette in front of the goal. And I would expect that some penalties will come out of that particular situation with 1:17 to go in the period. Tempers flaring here in the late stages of the second frame. So Poulin goes to the box for Les Canadiens. And Bonello gets the gate for Toronto. Chevry and Ouellette over to speak with the game referees. The referees tonight, Melanie Baldelot and Stephanie Campbell. The Lions people, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Laurie Longpré and Danielle McGurry. So we are going to skate for a side on these coincidental minors. Bette, Ouellette, Chu, Rougeau for Montréal. Balden, Kelly Terry for Toronto. Here's Bette in the slot. Wrist shot goes wide. Spooner also out there for Toronto. Wraparound attempt by Chu, and she was knocked down by Natalie Spooner. Out to center. Here is Terry into the offensive zone as Ouellette came back and back-checked her. Julie Chu on the near side on the 4-on-4 situation. Tries to play it in deep. She does. Bette had to hold up, towing the line as the clock had not started, and there's been about a 15 or 16 seconds that should have expired on both the penalty and the game clock here, so we're playing with some free time. Spooner over to the near side, Suzuki. Suzuki with a slap shot, knocked down in front by Chartrand, and Terry was sniffing around on the doorstep trying to poke that one free and into the cage. Suzuki again from the point. Down low in front, back to Spooner it goes. Spooner, slap shot! Kicked aside by Labonte as we are inside a minute to go. Not sure if that's the actual time on the clock because there was a delay in starting the clock after the penalties were assessed. Here's Vela into the offensive zone. Rising slap shot, gloved by Labonte, and she holds on for the whistle. And we may have a correction in the time as one of the officials goes over to the penalty bench. And there will probably be some adjustments. According to our clock, there's 8 seconds left in the period, and that's exactly how much time is left in the period. So our cracked tech crew here on ISI Live and CWHL Live was keeping up with the play. So 8 seconds to go in the period. Face off to the right of Charlie Labonte. Marin will take the draw for the Canadiens. Prévost for the Furies. One of the issues is the penalty time is not correct now at a minute 19. So coming up in a few minutes' time, we will have our second period intermission, and Robin will be down rinkside for a player interview. We'll have our scoring summary and much, much more. The second period intermission coming up in just a few moments here on CWHL Live. And a reminder that you can follow us, hashtag CWHL Live, at any time. Prévost taking the draw against Marin. Marin wins it into the corner for Rougeau. She will play it in behind the goal as Vela takes it towards the front of the goal. Prévost tries to get a shot away She does, but it goes wide as the buzzer sounds to end period number 2. And what should have been a very innocent finish to the period after the Canadiens won the draw over to the near side and Laurent Rougeau tried to take it behind the goal. Ended up being a scoring chance for the Toronto Furies. And we'll have 43 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey when we open up period number 3. Ann-Sophie Bette scores on the power play at 1:04 of the second period, and that's the only goal after 40 minutes of play tonight. As live from the Centre Étienne Desmarteaux in Montreal, it's the Canadiens 1, the Furies nothing on CWHL Live.
When I was 7, I wore these gloves. They held this. Well, these skates carried me over the blue line. We won the championship, and now it's all yours. Cool. Oh, and this mouth guard. I'll get my own. Thanks.
The 5th season is when spirit for the game gets passed down. That's why we're proud to support over 5,000 teams.
100% drive. 100% passion. 100% effort. But women in sports get only 5% of the attention. Canada's dairy farmers believe women in sports should be seen and heard loud and clear. With Fueling Women's Champions, we're shining a light on women athletes at every level. Join us. #ChampionHer.
Yeah, growing up in Canada, I think every kid's dream is to, one day play in the NHL.
When you're a kid, it's the same as the guys. You dream of being in the NHL.
I would have loved to grown up and been a hockey player and be paid for what I love to do.
It's a little tough for women to find places to play and to play at a high level.
When I tell people that I play pro hockey here, everyone says, oh, there's a women's team?
A tip shot right in, they score! Stopped by Kessler, rebound, they score! Here's a break, Johnston scores!
The best hockey that's played is played right here in the Canadian Women's Hockey League. It's like watching Canada and USA in every single game. It's not just every 4 years. It's just not 2 teams. It's 5 teams.
I think women's hockey has progressed more as a sport than any other sport in the world in the last 15 years. The women are excellent athletes. They're really good hockey players. I think it's terrific hockey.
What we need to do now is get the fan to just come out and support us and follow us.
All right, ladies, we got to be focused. We got to be ready to go. Big start, big start.
Welcome back to the Centre Étienne Desmarteaux in Montreal. It's 1-0, the Canadiens leading the Toronto Furies after 40 minutes of play on a power play marker at 1:04 of the second period by Ann-Sophie Bette. Let's send it down to our CWHL Live studios. Here's Robin Flynn with Natalie Spooner.
Here with Natalie Spooner. That was a bit of a difficult second period in terms of penalties, especially to start. It's hard to get into a hockey game when you're taking a lot of penalties, right?
For sure. I mean, I think we want to try to stay out of the box this third period, get some momentum. I think we definitely need more shots on net to beat Charlie. So I think we have a lot to work on, and luckily we're only down 1-0, so we have to have a good third period here.
Your goaltender has looked outstanding thus far in this hockey game. She's faced a lot of rubber in this game. How do you see it from your vantage point, how Kessler has played?
Yeah, Kessler is always amazing for us in net, and today's just like that. She's standing on her head for us and keeping us in the game, so she's giving us a chance this third period.
Despite this being a game in Montreal, there's a lot of Natalie Spooner fans that I can hear in the crowd chanting your name as you're skating by. What's that like on the road to know that you have a fan base?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome to have Toronto fans in Montreal here just supporting us and coming out to the game, so I think it's great.
Do you still think that rivalry that you see in the National Hockey League between the Maple Leafs and the Canadiens exists in the CWHL between the Furies and the Canadiennes?
I mean, I hope so. I mean, we never really like playing against Montreal, so I feel like they probably feel the same way. So I guess it could be just like the Maple Leafs and the Canadiens.
Thanks so much for your time, Natalie. Have a good third period.
Thank you.
Back to you, John.
Thank you, Robin Flynn. It is 1-0. Les Canadiens lead the Toronto Furies after 40 minutes of play. When we come back, more of our second period intermission, including the scoring summary. You're watching CWHL Live.
Top players in the world need a place to play, to train for those 3 years prior to the year of the Olympics. So each team's going to have 4 or 5 or 6 of them. They're very serious, they're very focused, they're very talented. Instantly you've got the best elite hockey, I think, in the world.
We have some really intense rivalries. All the girls have been playing against each other their entire lives. Yeah, there's an energy there that I think is different than NHL or WHL. For the most part, it's nearly full contact. Especially at this level, the girls are so strong and so fast that it's unavoidable. You go into the corner battles, I think, are really similar.
For us, it has to do a lot with skill. There's not the big body checks or the hitting. It's still very aggressive.
Like, you don't get the huge open ice hits, but you still have a lot of physicality around the boards.
Get the speed going, guys. We have players who have retired from NCAA. They're out of the school, they're out of CIS. They want to keep playing. There's no money in it for them. So what we have on the squad is actually athletes that are just burning to play hockey.
We had 22 Olympians that attended the Olympics in Sochi. So you can imagine the level of hockey that is being played here.
Here we go, nice breakout too!
People who play can relate to this. It's an escape from real life. You know, with school being difficult, hockey, it's an escape from that. And that's something I'm not ready to give up yet.
In general, they're putting their careers on hold to be able to play this game that they love.
I think I'd miss it too much right now if I were to quit. I just love to play the sport that I love, and so, you know, it's worth all the sacrifice and everything that comes with it.
There is a life during hockey. We sometimes help them find jobs if they want to come to a certain city and they have never been there.
I looked for work after I moved here. Hockey was, you know, #1, and I was going to make it work after that. I've been really fortunate. My company is extremely supportive. Extra vacation days if I need, and you know, leaving early when I need to. They've even come out to a lot of my games, which has been pretty cool.
A lot of employers are kind of excited to have a player of that caliber because they're filled up with commitment and focus and discipline and work ethic and that kind of thing.
I love the fact that 95% of them are, you know, Ivy League graduates, and the fact of being brilliant in what they do. I always say to people, if you want to really see the true passion of hockey, follow one of our players.
It's hard to get a lot of games in. You have to play on the weekends because everyone has full-time jobs.
I'll have to take a vacation day on a Friday. We'll leave Friday 5 a.m. for the airport, play Friday night, play Saturday night, play Sunday morning, go straight to the airport after our game, get on a flight, get in at 2 in the morning or so, and then I have to be at work the next morning. So, you know, that's really tough.
You maneuver your life around your kids, you maneuver your life around your partners, you maneuver your life around your family, and all knowing perfectly well that, one, you're playing because you love to play, but two, you're playing because you're making it different for those that are coming in the future. The role models that we are creating within this Canadian Women's Hockey League is massive in the fact that everything they represent, everything they stand for is what I would want my daughter to grow up to be, because they're following a dream and a passion. So, you know, in the past 7 years, I think we've come a long way in recognition, but you're competing with so much, I mean, you know, in the entertainment world.
I'm a true believer that the foundation that has been built with the CWHL, it is the one that will bring us that success of a professional women's hockey league and eventually get the players paid.
When I started playing, I had no other option. You know, I was playing with the boys or nothing, really. There's been so much growth, so hopefully one day it'll get the exposure that it deserves.
You know, women's hockey is not NHL hockey. It never will be the same as the NHL game because of the physiological differences, but it doesn't mean that it can't be a great stand on its own game. It's baby steps, and it's not obviously happening as fast as everybody would like it to, but, you know, good people are involved with the league right now, and more are becoming interested.
I think this is a good product, one we can all be proud of. There is no reason that we can't grow this sport and get it to a level where women can play professionally and earn a living doing it just like men do.
When the Olympics happened, it was interesting the amount of calls I received, the unfairness of our women not being paid. And how could we have men competing for the gold medal and making, $25 billion with their salaries all added up, and our women making $0? In all honesty, the 13 million people who watched that final game, they made an impact with the sponsors. The simplicity for us is that in order to support our league, in order to make sure our players get paid, we need you. We need you to buy a ticket. And in $15, you will secure the future for women to be paid.
How do you feel about the game so far? I think all lines are going right now. We're on 6 cylinders for sure, We just want to get pucks deep, get our legs going a little bit, shots to the net, First game, we're ready. Captain Campbell, how do you feel with that C on your jersey?
A little overwhelmed, a lot of pressure, especially taking a draw against the goalie.
You're doing okay, though.
Tried to use my tomahawk on her glove, but
I think she won that one for sure. You guys want to talk about what just happened down there?
No, we don't.
No, okay. No comment.
Look away, look away.
Guys, we're going to have to talk about that last shift. Do you want to tell me what was going through your mind when you were getting stoned both times?
Maybe try to put a little razy on it.
Maybe next time? At least your dance skills were on point.
Oh, did you get that?
Yeah. Espo, was she trash talking you when you got stoned by her with that glove?
She said thanks for putting it in her glove.
Oh, all right.
Which is what I was doing. She told me before to do that.
Oh, okay. Good. Spooner, anything to say?
No, it's coming. We're working hard.
We're on an amazing race to score the first goal, if you will.
Pretty much.
Did you or did you not trip over the puck on a partial breakaway?
Welcome back to the Centre Étienne Desmarteaux here in Montreal. It's 1-0. The Canadiens de Montréal leading Toronto, the Furies, after 40 minutes of play. The scoring summary, Robin, very simple. Ann-Sophie 104 of the second period on the power play.
Yeah, and I mean, Toronto is not pleased. I was speaking with Natalie Spooner after the second period, and they're not happy that they found themselves in the box. It's really hard to win a hockey game when you find yourself on the penalty kill, especially when you have a penalty kill that's 5th in the CWHL. They're not scoring shorties left, right, and center like some other teams are. So I think in the third period, they want to remain disciplined, tie this game up, and hopefully have a chance to win the game.
22-13 are the shots on goal after 40 minutes of play, 11-9 in that second period. Toronto did come on in the second half of that period. Elsewhere in the CWHL tonight, as we take a look at our Game Point Live on the CWHL website, where you can follow all games live if you're not on the webcast. Calgary outshooting Brampton 17-7 in the first period, 2-0 on goals by Soliner and Lovell. So that's where they stand after 20 minutes of play in Brampton tonight in a showdown for first place in the CWHL.
Which is interesting to see that the Brampton Thunder are in a showdown right now for first in the CWHL. And Calgary, of course, we knew that they were going to be a powerhouse when this season started. Adding Haley Wickenheiser to their already really deep roster was definitely a huge improvement for them. The Canadiennes haven't played as many games as Brampton and Calgary. They've got a few games in hand, so don't be too dismayed that they're not in first place in the CWHL just yet, because they may just yet catch up to Calgary.
Wickenheiser has an assist tonight, 3 goals, 5 assists in 9 games played so far in the season. We're talking about Elena Lovell a few moments ago, 4 goals, 7 assists, 11 points, one of the top point getters as well with Calgary. So it's a very well-balanced team, and it's not just one player that's going to make the difference. You know, we saw last year how that team throughout the year was trending in the right direction, happened to not be able to get through to the championship game last year in the CWHL, but still, it's great to see Calgary, our Western team, having such success this season.
Yeah, really looking forward to when the Calgary Inferno come to Montreal. We saw Montreal go to Calgary and split that series. At the time, both teams were undefeated, 4-0 teams, and Calgary beat Montreal, was the lone undefeated team until Montreal beat them on the second leg of that series. It's going to be exciting when they come into town. These two teams are so good and they're so evenly matched. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. But before then, we have to watch the rest of this series against the Toronto Furies.
And tonight's game is brought to you by the Dairy Farmers of Canada. And we would like to thank them for descrambling this game so that everyone across Canada can watch, and around the world can watch this game free of charge. For the rest of the games in the CWHL, including tomorrow's game between Calgary and Brampton, it will go back to being a subscriber service. So please remember to purchase your season-long pass to CWHL Live, and you'll be able to catch all of the exciting audio and video play-by-play of the CWHL this season. That's at CWHLlive.com. Turning our attention now to the third period as the two teams are back on the ice. Montreal will skate left to right here in this third period as we are underway. Skating 4 aside as Spooner with the steal in the offensive zone tries to juke and jive around Willette, and the puck is tipped out to center. Here is Bette, Ann-Sophie Bette, into the offensive zone. Bette drop pass for Willette. She had her stick lifted by Shannon Molson. Excuse me, that was Laurent Rougeau's stick was lifted by Molson. And Rougeau has it in the corner. 15 seconds on the 4-on-4 situation. Here's Julie Chu. Chu to the left side. Chu skates around Spooner. Gives it off to Bette. Down low. Bette in front for Chu, but Spooner will intercept it from her 24 counterpart and play it out to center. And both teams are back to skating 5 aside as we played 45 seconds a period at number 3. Here's Willette into the offensive zone. Takes a shot. Poulin trying to get her stick on it as she was coming across the front of the net, but was unable to tip the puck past Kessler, and she makes the stop to get the stoppage in play.
To steal the words right out of Natalie Spooner's mouth, Kessler has been standing on her head tonight, and I think that Toronto would like to get some more pressure on Charlene Labonte. It's hard to get them past her, and you got to start firing pucks on her, and they want to, of course, relieve some of the pressure that Kessler has faced through the first 40.
Oh, I think they just announced the 50-50 draw, and I didn't pull my ticket out.
Oh no, what if you're the winner, John?
That would be very disappointing.
Steak dinner on you?
Well, only if I win. Here's Chatra in her own zone to Marin. Tip pass ahead to Poulin as the Canadiens have changed things up a little bit here on this line as Deschênes and Marin are out there with Poulin for the moment. Marin will lift it towards the blue line. Knocked down there by Fulton as Carly Hill has the puck in her own zone. Ahead to Poulin. Tries to sidestep a check at center. Gives the puck to Deschênes, and she'll play it over to Emmanuel Blais, who will dump it in deep as the Canadiens go for a line change. Here is Fulton tipping the puck to the near boards. Can't get it past the blue liner Saunders. Pair off with it. The former Furies dishes off right side. Here is a shot by Imar that is knocked wide. Here is Saunders. Imar, right point. Cross ice to Blais. Blais, slap shot, and a stop there by Kessler. She got down low and was able to see the puck through traffic and makes the stop.
Speaking of girls you wouldn't want to stand in front of their slap shots, Manuelle Blais is definitely one of them. I saw her at the youth camp this summer working some of the girls out, and they were sweating in that hot August sun like nobody's business. She is muscular, she is toned, she is so unbelievably strong. She puts all of her weight behind that slap shot, and I don't want to be the one on the receiving end of it.
Poulin will take the face-off here. Shoots, hits the crossbar, scores! They're saying it actually came under the bar as she won the face-off, stepped into the drive, and put it just under the crossbar. 2-0 Canadiennes.
Yeah, that definitely looked like a goal to me, John. It went top cheese and out.
Marie-Philippe Poulin picks up her league-leading 8th goal of the season.
Absolutely unreal. You know, you knew that she was going to come into this league and that she would find a way to dominate in the CWHL, but she has exceeded expectations, scoring her 8th goal in just her 5th game of the season.
Natalie Spooner over talking with the officials. It's just difficult to... I thought it hit the crossbar, to be honest with you, and I don't think, and I thought the way that it came out that it would be very difficult for it to have been in the net, but the officials say that it actually got underneath and hit the sidebar and bounced out.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looked like to me. If I had to put money on it, I would say that that was a goal, and it looks like that's the call that they're going with on the ice. 2-0 Montreal.
2-0 Montreal.
They haven't changed it yet on the scoreboard, still showing up as 1-0.
But there it is, the announcement will make it official. Unassisted at 1:58 of the third period, excuse me. I'm having so much fun trying to prolong the game a little bit more. So Poulin, who just scored, is back out there taking the face-off, and she wins it back to Willette. Caro will wrist it in behind the net. Hill on the far side. Can't catch up to it. Bette has it for the Canadiens. Drives towards the goal. Takes a quick shot and kicked aside by Kessler. Kessler is probably going to be in consideration for one of the 3 stars in tonight's game with the way that she's played between the pipes for Toronto.
Yeah, she's been absolutely lights out. If she's not a 3rd star, that would be absolutely robbery.
She actually could be a 2nd star right now. At least that's just my humble opinion.
Maybe even a 1st star. She's played well enough.
Sherrard comes off of the right wing half board, snaps a shot towards the goal. Kessler again turns to the side. Pass in Spooner's skate, comes over to the near side. Bette with it for the Canadiens. Chapron back in her own zone, right side for Carly Hill. Ahead at center to Sherrard on the left side. She tips it in deep. Hill going back to play it for Toronto, takes Sherrard into the boards, turns it over, but Bacchia couldn't hold on to it as Fulton clears it up the boards to the far side. Pinching in at the right point, that was Amar. And Amar standing tall against Fulton as she falls to the ice. And over on the near side now, it's Katie Gaskin. Gaskin ahead at center, just out of the reach of Terry, and Sherrard has it in her own zone. Gives it to Amar, over to the near wing for Bro, ahead for Bacchia, tips it ahead, and Sherrard takes Gaskin off of the puck and plays it in deep into Toronto territory. The Furies need a goal here to get back in the hockey game. They're down by a pair. 2 goals early in each of the 2nd and 3rd period have put them behind the 8 ball as Bacchia almost picked up her 1st of the season. Fulton takes her player to the boards, and now coming up with it is Michelle Saunders. Saunders up the near side, but a good job by Bro and Sherrard to get to the wall hard to keep the puck in the Toronto territory. And now the Furies will ice the puck as we have played 3 minutes and 59 seconds of the 3rd period.
Kessler's got to be frustrated if your goalie, even though you're sort of keeping your team in the game and they know that, you still got to be frustrated that you've let 2 in. At the same time, though, Toronto hasn't managed to get any really great looks on Labonte since, I would say, the midway mark of the 2nd period.
So we're just repairing some ice to the left of Kessler. Clément Hydra will take the face-off out there against Emily Fulton. 3-0 are the shots so far in this period in favor of Les Canadiennes.
And for any fans of the men's team, the male Canadiens are tied at 0 right now with the New Jersey Devils at the end of the 1st period.
And if you're a fan of the male Toronto teams, it's the Leafs won and the Caps won after 20 minutes of play. Toronto shooting Washington 16-4. As we show our respective colors in the broadcast booth this evening. That's called one-upmanship.
Is it ever?
Yes, you talk about the Canadiens, I'll talk about the Leafs.
It's only fair.
Here is Noémie Marin into the offensive zone. Wrist shot. Kessler snares it with her left glove and holds on for the whistle. One of the things I have to admit, I love this new Toronto Furies logo. It plays on the tradition of the Connie Smythe 37-point maple leaf that was worn by my grandfather at the end of his career, well, for most of his career, except for from 67 on, the more modern maple leaf, which is the Leafs' 3rd uniform now, was being worn. But I love the fact that they incorporated with the T and the F. It's a really sharp, modern logo that actually pays homage to the roots of men's hockey in Toronto.
It's definitely nice to see that new logo, the Canadiennes with the new logo. Although you can't really beat the Calgary Inferno. I think they have the best logo in the league.
That I have to agree, but you know what? What I really like about the Stars, the former Stars, now Canadienne
Put another $1 in the jar, John.
Yeah, that's the first time tonight. Is the fact that it actually has the old star in the CH, which is really amazing that they were able to do that. And a great job. Here's Willette in. Willette to Poulin. She had her stick lifted there by Hill. A good defensive play by the blue liner for Toronto. Here is Chartrand at the left point with a wrist shot through traffic. Willette tried to get her stick on it. It was a fluttering puck, and she was just unable to tap the puck down, because if she had of where she was, it probably scoots through the wickets of the Toronto netminder.
We're getting a line change right now as all the Canadiennes and the Toronto Furies head off and bring on some fresh bodies onto the ice. Manuel Blais taking the draw, which is no slouch in the face-off circle, shall we say.
And she pulls it right back to Aymar, but she was unable to handle it. Chelsea Saunders at neutral ice on the right side for Leslie Oles. She'll play it in deep in the right wing corner. Jordana Peroff battling with Bonello, her former teammate. As Toronto comes up with it over to the near side, that is Kelly Terry. Steal in neutral ice by Saunders. She'll play it back in deep, and that was Montreal's Saunders, not Toronto's Saunders, as we have two Hills in this game, two Saunders, one each side. Here is Terry overskating the puck in neutral ice, and Peroff has it. Stick checked at the blue line. And delayed offside coming up here against the Canadiennes. So Toronto will have a free breakout here. As finally, Blais tags up, and Bonello will skate to the blue line. Up the left side, just out of the reach of Suzuki. And Vela is held there by Chelsea Saunders of Les Canadiens. She will get the gate. The extra attacker on. Aymar comes up with the puck, and the whistle goes. So a holding call here. And the Canadiens go to the penalty kill for just the second time tonight.
And this is an opportunity that Toronto absolutely needs to take advantage of. If they don't at least cut this lead in half with 14 minutes left to go in the third period, it's not going to be looking pretty, though. Their power play, by the way, is 2 for 43 this season.
Kristen Haig has scored. Haig has scored for Calgary to make it 3-0 for the Inferno early in period number 2 in Brampton. That is your next broadcast here on CWHL Live, coming up tomorrow afternoon at 12:30 Eastern, 10:30 Mountain Time. So you can join our crew in Brampton for all of the play-by-play action of tomorrow's game. Here is Spooner on the power play with Terry and Fulton up front. Baldwin and Bonello on the back end. Chu, Rougeau on the blue line for the Canadiens on the PK. Poulin and Willette up front as Willette lugs it up to center, tries to spawn Poulin free. Poulin goes around Bonello in the offensive zone on the PK. Now Poulin puts the shoulder into Baldwin in the corner, and she draws 3 white jerseys below the goal line here on the PK in the offensive zone. Toronto up the near side. Here is Fulton. Fulton with it. Fulton cuts towards the goal, hits the side of the net with her wrist shot as she tried to just tuck it inside the post and the glove of Charlene Labonte. Natalie Spooner starts the rush up. Last year, a pair of goals against the Canadiens here, including a winner in the shootout. Spooner behind the net, comes out near side. Spooner still with it. Cross ice pass into the skates of Vela. Vela at the blue line. Pocket pick there. Marin can't get free as she ran into Vela. And Toronto will bring it back in with 35 seconds to go on the power play. Carly Hill overskates the puck but leaves it there for the captain, Cathy Chartrand. She plays it off the windows up the near side. Suzuki has her pocket pick. Here's Bette. 2-on-1 with Marin. Bette, left side. Marin in the slot. Marin back to Bette. Hits her in the skate. And Kessler makes the stop. Vela with the puck in her own zone for the Furies. Brings the puck up to neutral ice. 10 seconds to go on the power play. Deschênes and Clément Aydra out there for Les Canadiens. Cross ice to Suzuki. Suzuki at the right point will play the puck in deep. Prévost gives chase. Cathy Chartrand up with it. Chelsea Saunders is back on the ice. And Les Canadiens have killed off the penalty as a high stick made contact with the puck for Toronto, so the face-off will come deep in the Furies zone with 12:01 to go in regulation time.
Wow, les Canadiennes are looking so good on the penalty kill. It's clear that this is the best penalty kill in the CWHL right now. There's just no getting past them. I mean, Charlene Labonte is definitely a world-class goaltender, but she doesn't even have to be because the team in front of her is so good, particularly defensively.
Next Saturday night, tune in to catch Brampton at Boston. That's a 7:50 p.m. puck drop Eastern time here on CWHL Live. And our next Canadienne broadcast will be on December the 12th at Brampton, a Saturday night special, as Imar comes in and takes the wrist shot that is deflected wide to the near corner. Bonello with it. Bonello up the near side for Toronto. It is tipped out to center by Karada, who gives chase in her own zone. That was Imar. Gives it to Clément Edra, who will spin and skate it out to center. Tabakia on the left wing side. 11:30 to go in regulation time. Still 2-0 for Le Canadien. Bakia back to the line. Imar will play it to the half boards for Clément Edra. Stevenson now rims it around the boards to the far side for Toronto. Zumara with it for the Furies. Ahead to Karada at center. She will gain the Canadiens blue line and will play it in deep. Imar in her own zone, being bothered there on the forecheck by Zamora. And Caroline Ouellette will come back to help out her teammate, playing the puck to Bro. Zamora still on the forecheck. Saunders takes down Bette as her stick got caught in the paraphernalia of Bette, and it's going to be a tripping call.
And she looks really frustrated to be taking that call, but you need to be responsible for your stick at all times when you're on the ice. Whether or not you intend to do something, your stick is, by extension, a part of you. So whatever your stick does, you're going to be responsible for, and that lines her up in the penalty box.
So the Canadiens go back to the power play. Face off to the left of Kessler. Poulin, Ouellette, Bette, Chu, and Rougeau for the Canadiens. Spooner and Kelly, along with Bonello and Suzuki for Toronto. Rougeau, top of the umbrella. Left side, Chu. Wrist shot goes off of Suzuki and into the near corner. Suzuki battling for the puck with Ouellette. Chu has it. Plays it down low below the goal line for Bette. Bette to Ouellette. Ouellette comes out of the far corner. Back to Rougeau. Top of the arc. Dishes off. Right side for Ouellette. Back to Rougeau. Rougeau, right side to Poulin. Poulin to Chu at the left circle. Back to the line for Poulin. She takes it on the forehand. Gives it to Chu. Into the top of the slot. Takes the shot. Rebound in front as it was stopped by Kessler, and it's hammered down the ice by Bonello. Toronto will go for a wholesale change here on the PK. Bette, kiss pass to Poulin. Poulin to the near side. Stick check there by Shannon Molson. Puck clear to the line. Kept in by Rougeau. Rougeau still with it. Gives it to Ouellette. Ouellette's backhander is intercepted by Molson, and she will sweep it out to center as Les Canadiens will go for a line change. Julie Chu gains center. Looking to play it in deep. Now comes across the middle of neutral ice. It's intercepted there by Vela. Vela in. Vela stick check there by Deschênes as the puck goes to the far corner. 50 seconds to go in the power play for Les Canadiens. Puck deep in Montreal territory as the puck hits the end boards. Prévost will play it in deep. Oles knocked down by Shannon Molson. No call on that play, and the fans reacting to that. Vela chips the puck over to the near boards. Prévost gives chase. Deschênes has it now, curling in her own zone and starting the rush up left side with 30 seconds to go in the power play. Leslie Oles at the Toronto blue line, trying to get it in deep. Hill battling with her there. It comes free, and here's Noémie Marin with it. Marin with the puck. Noémie Marin, back to the blue line she goes. Chartrand with a shot! Stopped by the netminder Kessler. Big rebound. Bonello will clear to the blue line and just out as Chartrand has to skate back to the center red line with 10 seconds to go in the power play. 8:55 to go in the third period. Still 2-0 for Les Canadiens. Oles with it. Gives it to Hill. Hill over to the near side for Hogan, and Ashton Hogan is knocked down as she tries to play the puck in deep. Cathy Chartrand with it for Les Canadiens. Goes up the far side. Intercepted there by Emily Fulton as Les Canadiens will play it up the near boards to Bonello. Bonello can't keep it in. Here's a 2-on-1. Deschênes with Sherrard going towards the goal. Deschênes tries to feather it through, and it's knocked down in front of the goal. Good play by the blue liner Suzuki to go low and blocking the centering pass. Saunders on the near side for the Canadiens. Up the left side for Sherrard. Back to play at Bonello for the Furies. She slams the brakes on. Paroff gives chase. Puck comes over to the near side. Shivery can't get it out. Here's Hill's shot, knocked down in front and curling in her own zone. That is Ashton Hogan. She slams the brakes on and will play it up the middle off of the legs of Alyssa Sherrard and deep into Montreal territory. Inside 8 to go in regulation time. The clock slowly starting to become an enemy of Toronto, down 2-0. Charlene Labonte has pitched 2 shutouts thus far this season, 5 in her career, and the Furies have not really had much of an attack here in this third period. Toronto plays the puck deep, and it will be an icing call against the Furies. And I know a lot of people don't like people mentioning
That's what I was just thinking,
word.
John. You said the S word right in the middle of it. You know, now there's going to be the buster that gets by Labonte.
Well, however, you got to get a shot on goal first. 8-0 are the shots thus far in the period, and that's more what I was alluding to in this particular case, is that you got to shoot to score.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, if you don't shoot the puck on goal, you have 0 chance of scoring.
Exactly. Unless, of course, you're Steve Smith and playing for the Edmonton Oilers in 1987. Bette curls off of the left side, takes a wrist shot. It's deflected over the glass and out of play.
I also think of own goals, like you got to think of Ryan O'Byrne. The Canadiennes
Yes.
do not have an O'Byrne on their roster, fortunately for them.
That was maybe one of the worst own goals I've ever seen.
I mean, an own goal is pretty bad no matter which way you shape it up, but man, that was brutal.
Here's Willette in the slot with a shot. Goes over top of the goal. Goaltender and in! Willette's wrist shot hit Kessler in the shoulder and maybe the mask. In fact, it was the mask. It looked like it caught her up in the shoulder and hit the mask and then went over her and into the net.
Yeah, it looks like that one stung a little bit. She just took off her mask, and she's repositioning, putting her hair back in a ponytail. You got to imagine that one bounced up and in and went up over her shoulder.
It did. It was a quick wrist shot, and unfortunately for the Toronto netminder, who is still on the ice, being tended to, after taking that shot high in the upper body, and actually I thought it was the shoulder, but it looks like it hit her mask and jolted her back, and she is down on the ice. She immediately reached for her mouth. So unfortunately for Kessler, the puck bounced over her and into the net, and she's slow to get back up, but ready to go very soon. And it's 3-0 for Les Canadiennes.
Well, it's one thing that you're definitely going to see that's different from watching the men's game is that these girls are going to periodically take off their helmets and put their hair back up in ponytails, which is, you don't really see too many long-haired people playing in the National Hockey League, but you see that across the board here in the CWHL as Kessler took off her goalie mask to readjust her hair, and she's got the mask back on. She looks to be okay. She's chatting with Natalie Spooner. She's putting on her pads and her blocker, and she's going to stay in the game.
12:40, the time of the goal. Well, that's 6th of the season. And there's a reason why most players in the National Hockey League don't take their helmet off and coif themselves in the middle of the game. It's called male pattern baldness.
Are you talking about Ryan Getzlaff?
Ah, well, amongst many.
Shots fired.
Yes. So right now the shots on goal in this period are 9-0 in favor of Les Canadiennes. They've scored twice to break this game open, leading 3-0. As they've started to slowly take over in this third period. So, it's 3-0. Toronto needs to mount some offense here very quickly to get back in this hockey game with 7 minutes to go.
Unfortunately, their best player tonight is between the pipes. If only Christina Kessler could shoot that puck down and beat Charlene Labonte.
Poulet and Bette with the helpers. Here is Bette with it. Working off of the right wing half boards. Goes down low for Poulet. Baldwin comes up with it. Has her pocket pick. Poulet to the front of the goal. Poulet and kicking the shot away. Has a good job by Suzuki to get her stick into the shooting lane to deflect that puck up into the air harmlessly away from Marie-Philippe Poulet.
Sina Suzuki has been such an excellent addition to Toronto's blue line this season. Is one of those girls that came over from Japan. And now this is a three-country league is the CWHL.
Chartrand turns the puck over and back the other way. Here comes Fulton. Fulton, 2-on-3. Fulton gets around Lachance. Carly Hill stays with her, takes her behind the net. Chartrand goes back down low with Natalie Spooner. Lachance comes up with it for the Canadiennes. 6 minutes and 5 seconds to go here in the third period. Spooner centering pass, broken up there by Bocchia, and she will skate it out to center. Bocchia up the middle. Emily Bacchia with Sherrard on the left side. Slams the brakes on. Drop pass for Chartrand. That's broken up by Fulton. Fulton on the far side for Chevry. Chevry kicks it ahead, but just kicks it too far as she was around Carly Hill and would have had possibly a 2-on-0 situation. But she just kicked the puck too far in front. Prévost is shot blocked from behind by Bacchia. No call on the play. And here is Sarah Lachance in. Wrist shot, and she fans on it as it goes wide of the mark on the left side. 5:25 to go in the third period. 3-0 Le Canadiennes. Here's Kim Deschênes looking to extend her goal-scoring streak. Snaps a wrister that just missed the far post by a couple of inches.
Yeah, Kim Deschênes has 5 goals on the season. She's been absolutely incredible for Le Canadiennes.
Lowe with a shot from the left point that goes wide. Aymar will pinch in, but the puck is chipped past her to the blue line. Kim Deschênes gets there and keeps it in. She'll hammer it off the side boards, far side. Bonello intercepts, but she's battling there with Marin. Marin worked her over enough that she was not able to get the puck out to center on the follow-up. It is Chevry clearing it out to center. Sophie Brault up the near side. Just out of the reach of Deschênes. It will go in deep. Gaskin back to play it for Toronto. Saunders behind the net in her own zone. Loses to Adra. Centering pass comes free to Rougeau. She skates to the right wing corner. Rougeau below the goal line. Comes out the near side to Marin. She's knocked down in front. And the puck comes across the face of the goal. And pouncing on the puck was Kessler. Now some rough stuff in the far corner as Kim Deschênes in a bit of a pushing match with, I think that's Michelle Bonello, who is going to get, no, excuse me, not Michelle Bonello, Corey Chevry, and Chevry gets the penalty.
We've seen a lot of rough stuff in this hockey game, particularly at the end of the second period when the girls were really sort of all bunched up around Christina Kessler, and again just now when Saunders was sort of was pushed on top of Kessler, and that's the reason for that kind of scrum that ensued.
Light in period number 2 in Brampton. It is 4-0 now for Calgary as they scored 2 in the first, 2 in the second. We'll get you your goal scorers in just a moment's time, as that's our broadcast tomorrow afternoon at 12:30 Eastern Time, 10:30 Mountain Time. Elena Lovell, she picks up her second goal of the game unassisted to put Calgary up 4-0. So give her, I'm not sure if the stats are up to date if I press on the player profile. I believe that now gives her 6 on the season. But I inadvertently left the stats from the last game in the league leaders and goals on my score sheet that I prepared, and I don't necessarily have that, unfortunately.
It's a lot of goals.
Yes, it is. 9-0 shots on goal here in the third period for Le Canadiennes. And no penalty on the play. As the officials confer, there was no penalty assessed. So we're going to continue skating 5 aside here with 4:27 to go in the third period. Face off to the left of Kessler, who, other than that last goal, which hit her in the upper body and then bounced up over her into the net, has been stupendous between the pipes tonight. Here's Bate in front with a wrist shot that goes off of Bonello. It was just wide of the cage. And now Spooner chips it out at center. Here's Terry on the right side. She fans on the centering pass for Spooner as Terry controls it behind the net. Terry comes out far side. Has Bonello open at the right point. She gives it to her. Bonello down low, centering pass by Baldwin, just out of the reach of Spooner's stick, and Julie Chu comes up with it, gives it to Marie-Philippe Poulin. She'll chip it out to center, and a good play by Bonello to prevent Le Canadien from having a 3-on-0. Here's Spooner in. Wrist shot blocker stopped by Labonte to the far corner. Baldwin can't catch up to the puck. Coming back to play it was Marie-Philippe Poulin. She overskated it. Terry had it for a moment. Poulin comes up with it over to the left side for Willette. Willette will play it back deep in her own zone to get a reset. Rougeau over to Chartrand to Willette just inside the blue line. Spooner stick checks her. Spooner upended, and Carol Willette is going to go to the penalty box with 3:25 to go in the third period.
That was absolutely a penalty. You can see that Carolyn Willette is sort of sheepishly skating off to the sin bin, but I mean, no question about it, she hauled Natalie Spooner down onto the ice. That's kind of a risky move to take that penalty this late in the game when you've got a 3-0 lead. Toronto scores 1 goal, pulls their goaltender, comes within 1. I mean, this game could easily flip on the Canadiennes.
Toronto 0 for 1 on the power play in the hockey game. Face off to the left of Labonte. Marin out there on the PK with Hill, Peroff, and Cathy Chartrand. Suzuki to the left side for Shannon Molson. Molson down low for Vela. Vela into the slot for Chevry. And the other player on this power play for Toronto is Caroline Prévost, as Marin steals it. Short-handed into the offensive zone. Wrist shot, gloved by Kessler. She'll settle the disc down and leave it there for Chevry. Chevry starting the rush up in her own zone under the watchful eye of Jordana Peroff. Puck comes over to the right wing side for Molson. She'll skate it into the offensive zone for the Furies. Towards a goal. A kick save by Labonte as it was tipped in on goal by Chevry. And Charlie had to get the right pad out to make a quick stop there. Chevry tries to go short side and almost had Labonte fighting for it, but she was able to get her left pad out there again and make the stop. So the first two shots of the period for Toronto come on the power play. 17 minutes into the frame. Down 3-0. 55 seconds to go on the power play for the Furies. Here is Baldwin into the offensive zone. Imar separates her from the disc. She'll play it to Julie Chu, far side. Off the boards. Ahead to Blais. She overskated it. Bonello has it to the half wall on the left wing side. Back to the blue line, Natalie Spooner. Spooner juking and jiving around Blais. Wrist shot blocked by Chu. Another chance stopped by Labonte. And the puck is cleared over to the near side. And Blais will chip it off of the window and down the ice. Baldwin with it. Baldwin up the right side just out of the reach of Terry. 25 seconds to go in the power play. 1:50 to go in regulation time. 3-0 Les Canadiennes leading Toronto. Here is Fulton with it. Fulton centering pass for Spooner, but Spooner was on her off wing and couldn't come up with it. And here's Poulin with a steal. 12 seconds left in the penalty kill. Poulin slams the brakes on. She's got Bette. Feeds her the pass. Bette in to Poulin. Backhander that rolls off of her stick and just wide of the mark. As the Canadiens still looking for their first shorthanded goal of the campaign. Montreal back at full strength with 1:20 to go in regulation time. Puck comes to the far side. Fulton on the boards. Tries to get it out. She does. Rougeau with it in neutral ice. Willette is onside. Here's Rougeau in. Tries to skate around Bonello. And away at center, here's Ashton Hogan. Hogan hooked up there a little bit, gets wide on the left side, takes the wrist shot, and Charlene Labonte easily grabs the puck with her left mitt. There's 40 minutes in the book, and Brampton and the Thunder are on the board. As Jamie Lee Rattray from Jess Jones and Laura Fortino at 18:06 of the second period gets Brampton on the boards. So it's 4-1 Calgary leading that game. Here it's 3-0 for Les Canadiennes. Of course, our next broadcast on CWHL Live comes your way tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Time, Calgary and Brampton. And then next weekend on Saturday night, it is Brampton at Boston, the 7:50 puck drop here on CWHL Live. And we would like to once again thank the Dairy Farmers of Canada for their support in descrambling tonight's game to make it free for everyone to watch on CWHL Live, free of charge. 45 seconds left in the hockey game. Here's Chevry in front. They score! Had a backhander in behind Labonte. It was, I believe, number 23. No, it was 27, excuse me. Prévost, who breaks the goose egg. And I'm going to hear it from my broadcast partner for mentioning that about 8 minutes ago when Toronto still had yet to get a shot on goal. So Toronto is on the board with 41 seconds to play in regulation time. 19-19, the time of the Furies' first goal of the hockey game. And of course, tomorrow afternoon, these two teams will meet here again at the Centre Etienne Desmarteaux. And the back end of this two-game weekend set, Les Canadiennes will be on the road in their next games, December 12th and 13th, to wrap up the first half of the season against the Thunder. And then they are back home January 2nd and 3rd against the Boston Blades. Bette in on the left side. 30 seconds to go. Down low for Willette. Willette behind the net as Molson will play it over to the near side. Now the puck is hammered back in deep. 20 seconds to go in the hockey game. 3-1, Montreal on top. Poulin giving chase as the puck comes over to the near side. Jess Vela skating it towards center. Vela sidesteps the check of Poulin. Vela in, takes the shot. Blocked by Chartrand, goes over to the near corner, and the buzzer will sound as the Canadiens de Montréal move to 6-1 on the season with a 3-1 victory over the Toronto Furies here tonight at the Centre Étienne des Marteaux in Montreal. A very, very entertaining hockey game here tonight in Montreal as the Canadiennes extend their winning streak against Toronto, dating back to last year, to 5 games. Their last loss came a year from tomorrow. There was a 4-3 shootout where Megan Hart scored a pair of goals and Natalie Spooner scored the other. 3-1 the final score here tonight. When we come back, it is the post-game show from the Centre Étienne des Marteaux in Montreal. You're watching CWHL Live.
Kimmy, you do know that there's only 4 seasons, right?
Then how do you explain the way kids wish away the summer because we can't wait to play in the fall? Or how teammates often become best mates? Or how families happily vacation in Winnipeg in January because that's where the tournament is? So you see, Miss Woods, there is a 5th season, and it's the best season in Canada.
So you're talking about hockey?
Oh, it's more than just hockey, Miss Woods.
Scotiabank is proud to support over 5,000 teams in Canada's 5th season.
Welcome back to the Centre Étienne des Marteaux here in Montreal. The final score, Les Canadiens de Montréal 3, the Toronto Furies 1. Let's take a look at the scoring summary in tonight's game as the iPad just resets. No scoring in the first period. Shots on goal were 11-4 in favor of Les Canadiennes. In the second period, the Canadiens outshoot Toronto 11-9. Ann-Sophie opens up the scoring at 1:04 of that second period on the power play. Marie-Philippe Poulin and Julie Chu with the helpers. Fast forward to the third period. Canadiens outshoot Toronto 11-5. Marie-Philippe Poulin off of a face-off at 1:08 of that third period makes it 2-0. Caroline Ouellette will make it 3-0 for Les Canadiennes at 12 minutes and 40 seconds. Ann-Sophie Bété and Marie-Philippe Poulin with the helper. And then Caroline Prévost scores from Kessler and Jessica Vella at 19 minutes and 19 seconds of the third period to break the shutout bid for Charlene Labonte. The total shots on goal in favor of Les Canadiens 33-18. So we're going to send it now downstairs to Robin Flynn, who is standing. We are not going downstairs quite yet because our player of the game has not yet arrived. We'll give you an update in the Calgary game. Calgary leading Brampton 4-1 after 40 minutes of play. As we mentioned a few minutes ago, Helena Level with a pair of goals in the hockey game for Calgary. Jamie Lee Rattray with the lone reply for Brampton. Their next game tomorrow afternoon at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 10:30 Mountain Time is our next broadcast here on CWHL Live. Next weekend, Boston and Brampton will be playing each other. 7:50 puck drop from Boston, and you can catch the play-by-play here on CWHL Live. The next Canadienne broadcast will be on Saturday, December the 12th, as Les Canadiennes will be in Brampton to take on the Thunder. A 7:30 puck drop in that game here on CWHL Live. And our next broadcast from Montreal comes on Sunday, January the 3rd, when Les Canadiennes will be hosting the Boston Blades from the Centre Sportif Bell down in Brossard, Quebec. We're now going to send it down to Robin Flynn, who is standing by with her player of the game interviews. Robin?
I'm here with Marie-Philip Poulin, who scored a goal in today's game. How does it feel to get a big win against Toronto at home, finally back home against the fans?
I think it was really exciting to get back here in front of our fan and to get that W. I think it's really important. I think we knew they were going to come back hard, and they did. I think after the second, we knew we had to get that third period pretty intense, go shift by shift, and get one goal in and then keep the pressure on them.
Christina Kessler played an outstanding game today. She just stood on her head. Do you change your approach to the game when you have a goaltender who's so hot like she was today?
Oh, for sure. I think she played unreal. She's a great goalie. We knew that, and we had to put a lot of puck on her, and she did a great job tonight. I think we had the 3 chances and put it in, but she stopped most of them, which was a lot of pressure on us. I think to put a lot of shots on her and keep the pressure on them.
I think a lot of girls in the league constantly are asking, what's it like to play with Marie-Philip Poulin, or what's it like to play against Marie-Philip Poulin? What's it like for you just to be in the CWHL? I mean, you're leading the league in scoring right now. Everybody expected you to be dominant, but you just look so good right now this year. And what's it like? How are you feeling about your game this year?
Well, I think to be able to play with such amazing players, I think and it makes me look good, I think, out there. To be able to play against great players, be able to play for the Canadiens, I think it's quite amazing for me. And just to be back on that league, I think I'm just amazed how it improved over the years and how the fans comes now. And to see little girls, I think it's for us to be a model for people, and hopefully they come and see great hockey, and for us just to be a model for little girls and for people around this league.
Thanks so much, Marie-Philip Poulin. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Back to you, John.
Thank you very much, Robin Flynn, and we'll be going back down to her in our studios in just a few moments' time. 33 shots on goal was the key total tonight for the Canadiennes de Montréal. They peppered Christina Kessler, who was phenomenal between the pipes, and despite taking one shot in the mask that happened to go up over her shoulder and into the net by Caroline Ouellette in the third period, she was spectacular between the pipes tonight, and she is downstairs right now with our Robin Flynn. Robin? Okay, we're just waiting for everybody to get into place. And now we'll go down to Robin Flynn. Robin? Okay, we've got a bit of a technical...
I'm here with Christina Kessler, who absolutely stood on her head in this hockey game. What's it like for you when you're facing so many shots in a game to stay at the top of your game?
I think sometimes it's almost easier when you get lots of shots. You're in it. I think defensively our team played really, really well today. And it's kind of, expectation. You go into a game against a great team like Montreal, you're going to face a lot of shots. So,
for one of those goals, it looked like the puck may have hit you in the mask. What did you see on that play?
I just saw a lot of rubber. And then kind of some stars maybe a little bit. But, Caro's always at the top of the slot there, and I know she's going to rifle it. So, unfortunately, couldn't steer it out of the net.
It's really awesome to see that despite the fact that the game is in Montreal, there were a lot of Toronto Furies fans here at the game. What's that like for you to go on the road and know that you have a fan base that's with you?
I think our GM and our coaching staff and everyone else that's involved with the Furies team have done a great job of really trying to promote our team, our brand, and it's great that we've started to create a great following, and it's nice to look up in a stands full of red to find some Toronto Furies jerseys and merchandise. So,
thanks so much for your time, Christina.
Thank you.
Back to you, John.
Thank you very much, Robin Flynn. Great job this evening with us here in the broadcast booth and down in our CWHL Live studios. A reminder, tomorrow afternoon, 12:30 Eastern, 10:30 Mountain Time, the Calgary Inferno take on the Brampton Thunder. That's our next broadcast here on CWHL Live next Saturday night. Brampton travels to Boston at 7:50 Eastern Time to take on the Blades. And the next Montreal Canadiennes, or the Canadiens de Montréal, if you would, broadcast comes your way on Saturday, December the 12th, when they travel to Brampton to take on the Thunder. That's a 7:30 broadcast time. Our next broadcast here from Montreal comes your way on Sunday, January the 3rd, when Boston will be in town to take on Les Canadiennes. So that will do it for this installment of CWHL Live here from Montreal. Once again, the final score in tonight's game, Les Canadiennes defeat the Toronto Furies by a final score of 3-1. On behalf of our ISI Global crew, this is John Bauer for Robin Flynn bidding you good night from the Centre Étienne Desmarteaux. CWHL Live is brought to you in part by Scotiabank. By the Dairy Farmers of Canada, fueling women's champions. By Winsport Canada, Sportsnet, Bauer, Tim Hortons, Toyota. By the Globe and Mail, Molson Coors, Bridgeforce, Porter Airlines, Gong Show, Oh My G, the Calgary Flames, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Montreal Canadiens.